understand.
Okay.
I expect more out of stand-up. So, you can lower your bar and live in that and accept all that. And that's fine with me. I don't care. But to tell me that, who am I to judge? I'm me to judge. Now, if you want to, exist and watch stand-up be watered down to any moron that can talk to a room full of morons, that's fine. I mean, I think everybody should be able to. I mean, I think crowd work's an important tool, usually for crowd management. You should know how to do it in case shit goes down in the room. But, a fairly clever teenager can do crowd work. I did it in high school. So my judgment about crowd work as a comic is I think it's very funny. I can do it if I want to do it. I can do it if I need to do it. But I do think, if you keep lowering the bar and audiences are expecting you to just talk to them, that's not the comedy that I respect or that I want to do. And I think that, once everything loses its meaning because of this flow you're talking about, that it becomes the mediocrity is just abound, and also things that are great just kind of go away with the flow. There's so much shit.
Can I ask you your opinion? I've also been seeing, not about crowd work, but I've been seeing like Jezelnik having an issue with people like Tony Hinchcliffe, who he's saying uses profanity or just shock value comedy. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, at this point, it's lazy and sloppy and hackneyed. To be in a fucking club where, I'm walking down the hall at the comedy club, at the Comedy Store, and, in one room, someone's doing their bit about trans people, and then I get down the hall and there's someone on stage going, well, I guess I got to do my bit about trans people. Like, no, you don't. You don't. It's hack now. I mean, you guys got the freedom you wanted. You can now say whatever you want. They're defeated. Their rights have been denied. The policies that you guys encouraged with your stupid material are now policy. And now, half the people under the umbrella of anti-woke, we've lost a tremendous amount of democratic-leaning ideas and movements. So whether they knew it or not, that's what they were spearheading. So now it's reality, and you want to still keep kicking them?
I don't know that the comedians have had that much power.
Are you fucking out of your mind?
No, I'm being serious.
Joe Rogan. I'm not gonna.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You can't separate. Like, if the movement is like, we're being censored. No, you're not. You're not. There's no constitutional censorship issue with your free speech. You say things, and in a democratic shit show of an environment, like Twitter or whatever, there's cultural pushback. And I'm not saying that it was pretty bad in terms of, people getting canceled and stuff. And I agree that was an issue, but that's a specific issue. To frame it as some sort of free speech problem was a misdirect. It wasn't. It wasn't a free speech problem. It was that people were getting cultural pushback. That is not a constitutional issue. No one was being put in jail for saying anything. That's a free speech issue. But my problem is you're going to start talking about anti-woke, and that's going to be your point of view. That's going to be your ideological, grounding for what you do. Okay, that's fine. But why does it have to be the same four fucking things? It's like they talk about the same shit. And I don't know a better definition of hack. I mean, after a certain point, it's like, what juice does the word retard really have? How much shit do you have to give trans people? What is your big problem with gay people? What's your big problem with women? It's like, what is this, the fucking 80s again? And it's so, to me, the problem is that language evolves. Okay, we don't use the word chink anymore. Well, maybe some of them do. You don't use the word Oriental anymore. You don't use the word colored anymore. Is that, in a democratic world, people learn to treat other people with respect, communities, and live with it. Look, I think you can say whatever you want. I don't care. I have no, I've been filthy. I've said all the bad things on stage. I've been doing this a long time under the radar in a lot of ways, and I have tried everything. I've done things that were inappropriate on stage. I've said things that were inappropriate on stage, and my experience with people receiving those things and talking to people, and I've evolved the way I present comedy. I think when you talk about Jezelnik, he's just saying that, isn't there a creativity workaround that could be funny without creating this juice that just comes from using words that used to be kind of triggering.
Honestly, this all sounds pretty bad faith to me.
Woo! Bad faith criticism.
Are you a talentless YouTuber pretending to be an expert?
Do you have a tantrum when you're criticized for being totally full of shit?
Then the excuse you need is bad faith criticism.
right, you assholes.
I gotta remember to get rid of that all right you assholes thing, because that guy, we're trying to erase him from history.
True. He is very canceled, right?
Like, we got rid of him. I keep forgetting that
we did kick him out.
Me and you started this thing, just me and you. That's it.
Yes, it was just me and you.
It's all American, baby.
And then it was just me, because I started this whole thing. No, this has always just been me. I wasn't taking weeks off or anything. I've just always been running this show just me. There's not even anybody here that I kicked off stage. It's just me. It's just me.
This feels bad, man. That felt bad when you did that. When you just canceled me, I didn't like it.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, you're canceled. You're not supposed to come back.
And look, here comes Marc Maron. I don't know if you've seen him, what he's saying, but
dude, he's so on fire.
Dude, he's fucking killing it. And they're not happy about it. Like,
no, I'm sure they're not.
It's fucking crazy funny seeing the reactions to like South Park, and then this. It's like, comedy's doing comedy, and finally, kind of coming out of its shell and saying, okay, look, this is the real deal here. So
true.
Hold on, something weird is happening. Like, okay, all right. My girlfriend was taking a picture of me with my driver's license, and I'm like, what is she doing?
No.
I think a package was lost in the mail. We're trying to find it. Anyway.
I was just gonna say, before we get too far in the stream, let's go ahead and everybody make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Just for all 3 channels. We'll take a moment.
I think there's 4.
Take your time. 4? Oh yeah, 4 channons. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe for all of them, guys.
Relax, guy. Relax. Stay well. So yeah, like the South Park thing, the most common thing, and I've seen it quite a lot. And it's like, I know that they don't get issued talking points, or at least the random chuds you see online. I'm sure some of the propagandists do, but like the chuds you see online just randomly, like they just parrot each other. It's so ridiculous. So I was saying, the thing over and over is, I'm fine with them making fun of Trump, but I'm just wondering when they're going to make fun of Biden and Kamala. It's like, well, they're not the fucking president, you goddamn moron. So
number one, I guarantee you they have at some point, and number 2, they're not relevant right now.
Yeah, I mean, Biden, like, what were they going to do? For one thing, they didn't make a lot of shows during the Biden administration, just coincidentally.
No.
They were doing a lot of those, kind of movie kind of things they did or whatever, because that's whatever deal they worked out for the period that they did that. But I mean, yeah, you can make fun of Biden. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, they think that everybody like loves their president as much as they love Trump. It's crazy.
That's the thing. Yeah, because they worship Trump. They think that we view Biden the same way. And it's like, no. In my opinion, Biden is simply better than Trump. That's it.
That's it. Yeah.
I am not thrilled with him. I'm
generally better. But I mean, like, Biden himself, I don't give a fuck. Like, he's an old fucking neoliberal fucking moron in a lot of ways. He fucking footed the crime bill in the 90s. He fucking won't ever live that down as far as I'm concerned. Fuck him. But at the same time,
I can't tell you how much I did not support him during the fucking primaries. But when the time came and Trump showed just how terrible he would be at handling crisis like COVID, it was like, well, fuck, we need to get him out.
Yeah.
And apparently we need to get him back in, because he like, one of the things that frustrates me is so we have the economy. It's getting wrecked right now. The economy is just a disaster. Just like Trump left it in 2020, and Joe Biden, to his credit, was working on fixing it a little bit. But now we're just back to it being wrecked.
To criticize Biden, and to your point though, Biden was fixing the economy, as in like what the fucking rich folks look at to see if they're doing okay. Like when it comes to like the average person, things were not going so well, and haven't been for a while. But that's not Biden's fault. That's the fucking system's fault.
I will say, I guess this is true just from my perspective. As Trump was going through, things were getting rough, and things continued to get rough until a couple years into Biden's presidency. Then it felt like things were stabilizing.
Yeah. Well, no,
and then just in the past couple months, it just fell off a cliff.
The things that Biden did that were good, quote unquote good, were good for like global trade and the economy in the long term and like stuff like that. That Trump has, of course, come along and wrecked anyway. But like, you know, stuff that the average person doesn't feel the effects of, you know. And so like you could look at a checklist and go, oh, he did this and he did this and he did this. But it's like, bro, I'm still fucking, you know, struggling paycheck to paycheck over here. Like,
I mean, we get tons of stuff like this, which I just find hilarious. This random dude, I don't know who he is, but I just thought this was hilarious. I'm voting for Donald Trump for the economy and to own the libs, which I think we're seeing right now. Owning the libs is a great reason to pick your political candidates. And
well, also
policies.
Picking the guy to run the country like a business that has failed. How many businesses does he have behind him that are fucking smoking wrecks?
Almost all.
Yeah. I mean, I read a thing one time that basically, essentially everything he's ever done, you know, company wise he's fucked it up and either needed to be bailed out or he's found some, you know, like what he's done with his, or did with his real estate thing, which is just basically finding a little fucking loophole scam that he could do over and over again to kind of overvalue his properties and shit. Anyway, you know, he's a piece of shit. And also now, you know, Washington, D.C., he's turning that into fucking, you know, martial law.
Yes.
Practicing for the rest of the country. The good news is maybe, it seems to be rumors that the National Guard themselves is not fucking happy about it. And so, I mean, you got to think that these are people that, especially the National Guard of D.C., they're not, I mean, the D.C. is like overwhelmingly Democrat voting area. You know, so the people that live around there that work for the National Guard, and they're not military people, they're people that work, you know, once a weekend. I mean, every other weekend, once a month, whatever the fuck it is that they got to go train or whatever. But otherwise, they're family people that have jobs. You know, they're not going to be on board with whatever the fuck he's doing, for the most part. So you might see some malicious compliance. Who knows? I don't think it's going to go as smoothly as he wants, but I mean, nonetheless, it's none of it's good. None of it's good. He's just fucking creating chaos for chaos' sake. It's stupid.
I mean, you know, I can sit here and just bash the economy all day because that is the thing that directly affects our life. But there also is the genuine fascist shit he's doing, which is just And you know, so and like the reason I just brought up this guy is just because, you know, his second tweet is like, oh my God, my shoe business is going out. And it's just one of those moments, like I just keep on having these moments where it's like, gee whiz, if only somebody had told you voting for Trump was a bad idea.
Dude, there's a bunch of these on Reddit. You can, I mean, there's the more depressing stuff of like, the teachers posting about stuff they're being forced to post 10 commandments in their classrooms and shit like that. It's getting bad out there, you know.
I guess I don't want to get specific, but I actually did hear a story, essentially about apparently, like in schools, they're not allowed to call a child anything other than the parent, the name, or the name the parent says that it is.
So they can one of the loopholes they could do is just use the last name if they feel the child, if the child is like obviously trans or something and doesn't want to be called, so they can use the last name. Something like that, but or otherwise.
One of the loopholes I heard is that they're having lots of times they're having the students take turns doing attendance because the students can use whatever name. Yeah,
that's pretty good. Yeah, there's I mean, you know, there's ways around it if you are creative and stuff like that. But like, you know, well, let's talk about some good news for a moment, I guess. This Spider-Man
movie. Not a lot
movie.
of it, but yes.
There's a Spider-Man movie.
You know, yeah, I haven't even looked at those photos yet. I've heard everybody talking about it, but yeah, Spider-Man looks. I'm excited.
So there was like the first day of shooting that they released a video for. They've never done that before. It was actually the first time that they've filmed openly and invited people to come spectate and stuff. As got a picture of it here. Spider-Man on top of some kind of looks like a tank that he's going to be fighting. This screams to me like a opening scene type of thing, to be honest. Like this,
I'm sure.
Opening scene kind of deal.
I don't think they would have the audience come in and watch it unless you know, if it had like major spoilers.
then a little joke here about, you know, it's going to be not going to be brand new. This is literally the same thing that we've seen, just different angles from. So it's not like they're showing new stuff. Man, he sure fills out that costume pretty good, huh? Boy, he can get it. There was actually one photo where his junk is pretty pronounced.
Oh my god. Oh shit.
Let's see what else we got. The quartering's not doing so well. That's good news.
I've heard about that.
Or maybe he's just grifting. Maybe it's, I mean, I'm sure he's not doing as well as he'd like to be, but he's using it to, you know, for me.
I mean, saying, posing whether or not the quartering is grifting is kind of like posing whether or not he's talking or making a video. Yes, of course he's grifting. That is his channel.
So, have you looked into this online safety act, the ID thing at all?
No.
Me either. But certain people are complaining about it. I don't know how it's going to affect anything, but I guess let's find out. Online Safety Act. So, explainer. Online Safety Act 2023 is a new set of laws that protects children and adults online. It puts a range of new duties on social media companies and search services, making them more responsible for the user's safety on the platforms. So the act will give providers new duties to implement systems and processes to reduce risks. Their services are used for illegal activity, and to take down illegal content when it does appear. The strongest protections in the act have been designed for children. Platforms will be required to prevent children from accessing harmful and age-inappropriate content and provide parents and children with clear and accessible ways to report problems online when they do arise. Ooh, this might affect some folks we know, maybe, if we're lucky. The act will also protect adult users. Anyway, so the ID thing is what I'm seeing people complain about. How's it being implemented? Am I looking at the fucking UK one? Is that what this is? Yes. God damn it, Dane, you dumb bastard. Is that all it is? Is a UK thing? All right, here, let's go to.
This is news to me, so.
Fox 2 Detroit covers it here. Starting August 13th, YouTube will use AI to estimate U.S. users' ages in the U.S. Those flagged as minors must verify their age to view restricted content. So it's going to be, quote unquote, AI guessing if somebody's a fucking child or not.
Yeah.
In the U.S., bills like the Kids Online Safety Act and Screen Act have been reintroduced, aiming to protect minors online, but haven't been passed. Okay, I see. Some users of YouTube in the United States may be barred from the platform starting Wednesday as the Google-owned media giant rolls out ID verification amid a trend of similar decisions propping up around the debate about online safety. Sweeping motion across the globe, internet anonymity may become a thing of the past as new laws that were introduced or passed forcing some to send their government-issued IDs for verification. Fuck that. The discussion of age verification on the internet has been in talks between lawmakers for years. Blah, 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 blah. Many states have already passed their own laws enforcing explicit adult websites. So Texas has done that, I know for sure, where you can't look at porn unless you show your ID, which is crazy. Now the whole internet's been targeted. Wikipedia challenged it, claiming it would threaten the human rights and safety of its volunteers, according to a report by the BBC. Case was dismissed. Wow.
I love the state of our country and the world.
Yeah, things are going great, guys. We're just doing good.
This is how we win. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Are you tired of winning?
I certainly am, but fuck.
Let's finish looking at this real quick because this is fun.
Oh, yes.
Cultural force is now slightly fascistic and leaning towards alienating those voices. So now that we've crossed that hump into what we are now, aren't you just kicking someone when they're down and just being a hack? Because there is no real progressive pushback anymore. They've won, right? So that side has won. They've won culture, and they've won the presidency, and now you have a lot of frightened people that believe in what was once democracy in terms of respecting all types of people. That's kind of gone. So do you continue along that track of like you being the victim of something, some liberal conspiracy when it clearly is over? I don't know. So maybe I stand with Jezelnik.
I just love how fucking Howie Mandel is just sitting there like blank face, like I don't. What are you talking about, man? And I've seen people, you know, some of the chuds that are, you know, pushing back against Marc Maron, just being like, "Oh, he's just a boomer yelling at the clouds," and it's like, are you aren't listening to what he's saying, or you benefit from the type of content he's criticizing, rather.
Yeah. Well, crazy. Also, I mean, I'll be honest. Howie Mandel feels like a boomer in this conversation because he feels just so like disconnected.
Well, like so he's like he's a very he
doesn't feel like a chud, but he just feels like
no.
He's not aware of what's going
on.
I
saw Maron talking with Sam Cedar because apparently they're like friends.
Yeah, I saw that one as well. Yeah,
and he was kind of saying that Mandel's like he's just a really capitalist kind of on the move, always doing a business venture kind of guy. So he's like not super plugged into the details of stuff. He's very superficial. But yeah, he's a lib. He's just like that's your typical lib thing. He's like not entirely disagreeing. He's not disagreeing with the fact that things are the way they are, but whenever Maron says that it's, you know, the comedy plays a role, he's like, oh, I don't know about that. And I love that Maron's just like, are you fucking out of your mind?
Yeah, like it's impossible to ignore the influence like Joe Rogan has had on the recent fucking conversation and shit like that.
Or
really
Theo Von. Theo Von had Hitler. I mean, had Hitler, had Trump on, but the reason I say that is because of this.
We're alive today. He'd probably appear on Theo Von's podcast. And Theo would be like, see, y'all did a lot of meth, right? I mean, all the Nazis were all fucked up on meth, right, Hitler? That shit'll make you crazy, dog. I did some meth once. I was up for 3 days, and then I ate a live bird. No shit, Hitler, a live bird, bro. Hey, Hitler, you probably didn't even hate the Jews. That was just the meth making you crazy, dog. Hey, Hitler. Do you want to apologize to all the Jews right now on my show? No? I get it.
If you haven't watched the special on HBO, I fucking recommend it, man. It is good.
I'm behind, but I do really want to watch it because every clip I've seen is just fucking fire.
There was the one he put out a couple of years ago. I remember I talked about it on the Shillcast then, and
I like that one.
That was really good. It was like he started getting into it. I was like blown away that he, in a stand-up comedy, like a mainstream stand-up comedy, he was saying Christian fascism. I was like, holy shit, Marc Maron's fucking awesome. You know, and then of course find out he's buddies with Sam Cedar. They used to host a, you know, lefty, you know, kind of comedy show back in the day that nobody ever watched apparently. Air America or whatever. Yeah, it was a pretty funny interview because you can tell they're friends because like Sam kept like
they gave each other some shit throughout. Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see. We got some comments here from some folks. Fully convinced that Nothing More is Tired of Winning is about the state of things. Dude, it absolutely is. Fuck yes. Thank you. You recognize what fucking reference I was making. And goddamn, you're awesome, Sean. It's a fucking awesome song. Awesome. Nothing More reference. Love it. Howie is kind of a centrist. He even tried to play the both sides to it. Mark was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. I mean, you know, it really does seem like centrists, in at least that kind of centrist, their sin is just like not giving a shit enough to pay closer attention. You know what I mean? Like, maybe because it's not convenient, or maybe because if they did, then they know that it would kind of like burst their whole worldview. I don't know, but yeah.
I'll be honest. People who are politically engaged and identify as centrist are either one of two things. They're either not actually centrist and right wingers trying to get people to go right wing, you know, pretty much grifters, or they're just too stupid and useful idiots.
Yeah, they can't understand. Like, I don't know. I don't know how you can look at the. I mean, I guess if you have a really fucking warped moral compass or something that's just very, you know, it's just not sensitive to the suffering of other people that aren't you or your immediate, you know, class or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, it's good times out in the world today. How about that Epstein list? Where's that at? You know?
Yeah, it's all over the place.
I wonder if this guy's on it.
Dude, I'm gonna show what I'm gonna do to Ant if I ever see him on the street. Hold up.
Fuck.
I'm getting forget. I'm getting forget. Yeah, I'ma bring the crazy. Get that freaky on. Get that freaky.
So.
You know that guy.
So
You've talked to him before.
Yeah, so he's going to take off his shirt and pound him in bed?
Oh yeah, he's gonna take his shirt off and he's gonna slam him on the bed and he's just gonna pound flesh.
No criticism, but like honestly, like I would think he would be the type to criticize something like that. But you know,
well, honestly,
makes him happy, man.
Look, I don't want to speak for Anthony, but like I consider him a friend, a colleague, and I don't think that he's backseater is his type.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think Anthony can do better. I'll be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not even talking about physically, but like, because, that speaks for itself. I'm talking about, I just don't know if Ant could like go to bed with somebody who with such a fucking abhorrent, disgusting, warped, mentally unsound worldview. But anyway.
Well, I mean, the fact that he posts that and thinks it's an own,
I know,
is so fucking baffling.
For a moment, I was like, wait a second, is he a fucking genius and he's trolling us? Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Because that's like so far gone with like such a lack of self-awareness that it's I can't even comprehend it. Or he's just fucking trolling us hard. And I don't think it's that. I think he's just has no idea how he looks to anybody.
Yes. You know what? I want to do something radical. Whoa.
I would do that, but my room is messy.
My room is messy too, which is why I have the camera adjusted this way.
Connect all this anti-elitism, anti-Hollywood talk to right-wing ideology and propaganda. What has happened now is that old-time show business is anemic. It's dead.
Yes.
And so, what's happened is, and in a good way, entrepreneurial way, which is, sort of, your bag, is that, you can start your own show business and you can find your own audience.
Right.
And, that all, seemed pretty good. But if a lot of, and these are comics, if the audience that you build has decided they know what real comedy is, they know that woke people suck, they know that, whatever, scientists are liars, they know that, whatever the ideological foundation of that audience is, if you're a comic at the tip of that iceberg and you're championing that just by being funny and then skirting the responsibility by saying like, yeah, I'm just a comic, my fans are my fans, then I think you're being disingenuous or stupid. I do think that comedy or certain comedians have a great deal of cultural weight now. Improvising is not crowd work. If you have the freedom of mind to speak your mind on stage out of years of trial and error, and you live up there, that's different than relying on.
Anyway, no, not quite that yet. But like my bed's not made, and
dude,
like,
how did you see in my room? Like, what the fuck? By the way, the dead rat alarm clock is amazing.
Yeah, the man's doing the Lord's work, and I hope to see more of it. I looked at it a while back, was showing clips of Jezelnik and some of his stand up a few months back because he was, pushing back against the Rogan stuff too. He wasn't going so specifically against the fascism aspect of it, but he's definitely, I would guess based on what I've seen that he also generally is progressive, at least Anthony Jezelnik. He was taking the route of which Maron is doing too. He's just taking a multi-pronged attack. Maron is where he's talking about the state of the comedy scene because of these motherfuckers and how they've affected, culture and politics. Whereas Jezelnik was just going after the way they've, done with comedy. Yeah. But, then there's this guy, Cliff Cash. I don't know if you've seen him.
Boogeyman.
I'm not familiar.
There's got to be somebody to be mean to distract from the real issues. They're like, hey, excuse me, stupid person. We're going to take everything you had. We're going to make your wages lower, all your cost of living higher, wealth inequality is going to increase, income inequality is going to increase, even your taxes are going to increase while ours go down. We're going to take everything. But there's a trans person swimming. Go get him! If you would have told me 15 years ago that I was going to have to listen to racist rednecks pretend to care about women swimming and that liberals were going to be torching electric cars, I'd have told you to go fuck yourself. I wouldn't have believed it. We got rednecks worried to death about women's sports, and liberals are setting electric cars on fire. What a weird time to be alive. I mean, don't stop. Don't get me wrong. Don't stop. Don't burn them. Don't burn them if they belong to people, because they might have bought them before. But definitely the dealerships. Don't tell Pam Bondi I said that. She might use some of the $115,000 a month she was receiving from the Qatari government to come after me. She's a patriot, though.
She's a patriot, though. That's a good question. Has anybody been affected by the YouTube ID policy yet? Has anybody let us know what your experience is if you saw that thing pop up, if you thought you were a child because you watch a lot of anime or something like that? I don't know. Man Carrying Thing had a pretty funny sketch about it a while back, as he usually does. But.
Yeah, as normal.
Let's see what they got. Oh, yeah, King of the Hill too. King of the Hill is also back, and it's saying some stuff. It's, you know, a little bit, from what I've seen, a little bit. It's not going super hard, but it is saying some stuff. I think I have a clip here. Have you watched it yet?
No. I never got into King of the Hill, so I'm not well versed.
I've heard a good show.
So yeah.
Brothers, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Females causing our problems.
Speak for yourself, Eli. My wife, mother, and our propane delivery woman have supported me through just about every crisis I can think of. And if we aren't getting support from those women in our lives, it's because we haven't earned it. That's the lesson this camp should teach.
Nads! Hey, kid, you know, your dating profile says you're 6'2". You can't blame women for being disappointed when they meet you and see you're 5'4".
Ooh.
Yeah. And it goes around like that. You know, each one of the guys kind of realize that they're the creator of their own problems, which is the most unrealistic part.
Yeah.
Because this is like a Andrew Tate type of a little group. So if you're that far gone, I doubt you're gonna just have an epiphany. Let's see. I mean, you know, that's understandable, I guess. You didn't like Office Space even?
I was about to say I really like Office Space. Idiocracy is pretty classic.
Yeah.
Although fuck, I think Dwayne Mountain Dew Camacho is a better president than Trump,
because
at least at least he recognizes that he's not the smartest man in the room and needs to get somebody smarter in there to help run things.
He acknowledges the actual problem that exists.
Yeah. He just doesn't know how to fix it. He doesn't.
Right. Yeah, fuck Theo Von, David Duke's workout buddy, right? Yeah, fuck all that. I was glad to see the Surfs covering that the other day, because the video that I did on it didn't do super great. I actually, to be honest, I have half a mind to start a new channel and start covering comedy stuff, because that's honestly, I'm way more interested in that shit right now than I am chuds in the fandom scene. You know, because I kind of just didn't pay attention to it as much, you know, even though it was very much more of an avenue for fascism to creep into culture than the fandom stuff. But you know, I was so fixated on this shit for last 6 years or whatever that kind of didn't pay super close attention to that. But I love stand-up comedy, and it does piss me off that these people have used it you know, the way that they've done it. So
it's just jokes, guys.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Idiocracy is his. And yeah, you should check out Office Space. It's pretty funny. It's pretty great. There's a lot of relevant stuff in there. You know, I mean, it was great when I was in high school and I didn't understand really anything about capitalism and stuff. And now it's like got a lot more resonance, you know, in hindsight too. Hey, Morgan's got a good point here.
Yeah, Morgan is winning over there. Like, guys, go ahead. We can take a time out. You guys go ahead and like the stream. Have you liked it yet? I mean, we can take a moment
like this
longer,
motherfucker. I mean, maybe you don't like our content. If you don't like our content, you can just dislike it too.
Quit slacking off and like the goddamn stream. Holy shit.
Quit jacking off and just,
God damn it. Listen, I'm trying to be patient here, but you guys need to like the stream.
So there's this now there's that.
Oh, of course.
They think it's lame.
Of course they do. Listen, like, these guys are the first to cry if, like, people like point out inaccuracies in like right-wing content. But like the second they get criticized for anything, they're the first ones to cry a river about it. And like it's not even fact checking. It's just just basic criticism, often 100% accurate, reflecting reality of what they are.
Oh God. There's a Facebook page that posts AI Pete Hegseth fanfic.
Oh fuck. Oh God. Why?
I don't know. Breaking. Abandoned by a poor family at birth due to a dark spot on his face. What Pete Hegseth did next completely changed a child's life, moved fans to tears. Pete Hegseth, not only a veteran and TV host, but also a symbol of compassion, heard the story of a child abandoned due to a dark spot on his face, shared on social media. Pete Hegseth's actions touched. Okay, so it's just repeating shit. That's pretty cool. Good job, AI. And then like the kid, it's on a different side of it's completely different thing here.
Yeah.
Dig Van Dyke here just turned 100. But what the 45-year-old patriot Pete Hegseth did next left the entire room in tears. It was already a night packed with legends, laughter, and in the hospital.
So fun fact, I mean, we all know this is bullshit, but Dick Van Dyke, I don't believe turns 100 until December.
This is just also Pete Hegseth looks sober here.
Yeah, that is the most unbelievable thing. December 13th will be Dick Van Dyke's 100th birthday.
Oh, okay. I mean,
the only reason I know that is because it's my grandma's birthday.
I was about to say, did you say most people know this already? Because like, who the fuck knows when Dick Van Dyke's birthday is?
No, I did not say most people know that. But yeah, I mean, we know it's fake, but like, it is like so obviously fake in so many ways.
Hold on. Pete Hegseth finds a lost child at the airport. Pete's next move will leave everyone surprised. So wait, he didn't just like take the child to some authority that could find its parent? Because that's what you should do, and it shouldn't be surprising at all. That's exactly, you know what I mean?
You don't understand. His next move surprises us all.
Oh, well, I mean, given this administration, maybe it's not so surprising. You know what I'm saying?
Oh God.
Epstein.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know why we're still talking about Epstein.
He's still going strong with a hot, young, relatively wife. I mean, good for him, man. He's a fucking piece of shit fascist, though. You know, he's a fucking white nationalist with fucking virtually Nazi tattoos on him and shit. And he's a fucking drunk, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact. In his stupors, Hegseth travels the multiverse and runs over variants of him that have human emotions other than addiction. That's the kind of Pete Hegseth fanfic. You guys, give us your best Pete Hegseth fanfic. I want to see that shit.
So I don't know.
Sorry.
So first of all, just I don't know about the second thing you say there, but yeah, Dick Van Dyke is a treasure. He did endorse Kamala Harris in last election, so I doubt he is a fascist or even a fan of Trump. But you know,
I mean, you know, we do have to cancel him for the words in his name, though. We can't have that shit. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, you should just be Dick Van Dam. Come on.
Yeah.
People will think you're related to John Van Dam, which is very cool, right?
Unbelievable. Stephen Colbert suddenly announces new talk show and officially teams up with Pete Hegseth after being kicked off the Late Show by CBS. A counterattack that makes CBS want to take back its decision, announces it will rewrite late night TV. And look at these fucking pictures.
What the fuck?
He's got fucking flag pants on. He's got flag pants.
The fuck? No.
Without cameras, without applause, Pete Hegseth and Jennifer Rochette opened their home to a young girl left orphaned by the flood in Texas. Not only out of charity, but out of love. There were no headlines, no interviews, just the quiet creak of us. So how do you know about it? AI, fanfic writer? How do you know about it?
AI knows all.
All right, this last one here that I'm going to do anyway. Warming news. Pete Hegseth's disappearance is no mystery. The TV host secretly went to a remote Asian village to give warmth through winter clothes to needy children and left without saying goodbye in a quiet but powerful act of kindness. TV personalities stunned a remote mountain village in Southeast, not with a broad, like, is he Jesus? Are they saying he's Jesus? They think he's Jesus. Right, exactly. That, like, honestly, I killed my Facebook account the day that I created this YouTube channel, and I have not fucking regretted it one moment since. Not once.
Hey, it is creepy when you occasionally have a chud track you down on there and start IMing you. It is creepy. It's like weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I knew that if there was going to be a way that any chuds who wanted to try and find information on me and dox me were going to be able to do it, it would be through Facebook. So I was like, you know what? I've hated being on here every time I get on here for the last few years anyway. So might as well just cut it off, you know, like a fucking cancerous growth.
Well, let's be honest. Social media is just a negative on our whole society. Unfortunately, it's part of how I love doing YouTube, but like I hate what social media is doing to our society. It could be this great thing, but it's not.
Pete Hegseth drove the spear into Christ's side and shouted, "Lo, Cthulhu, lo! I am the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young." Yeah.
That's just known. Like I don't know why you're posting that. Everybody knows that.
Posting his fucking biography here in chat like a weirdo.
Let's see. Do we want to go into some of the news that has popped up over the past week?
Yeah, well, go for it. I didn't really have any plans other than just to talk about comedy.
Okay, again. I was thinking we could sprinkle the comedy stuff as we go over some news stories.
Yeah, let's do it.
But first of all, the framing of this article pisses me off. I didn't realize Deadline would say shit like that. Yeah,
it's a whole piece of shit. I saw it yesterday.
Because Deadline is probably the entertainment source I respect the most. So them phrasing it this way is disgusting.
Hollywood Reporter is the only way to go, man. They're the fucking only ones that are going to give you the straight dick, you know?
Except Hollywood Reporter copyrights a lot of their interviews and shit, which is frustrating as fuck. But anyways, like this headline, this really is the way. Gina Carano pile drives Disney over Mandalorian firing with settlement and job offer.
Job offers. And if you even have half a brain and you read the legalese of what's said here, it is specifically worded because part of the settlement that they agreed to, you know, we don't know for sure, but you can tell by looking, is that they acknowledge that they maybe made her look bad by the way that they went about things by firing her and then saying some shit. You know what I mean? Like about what she was saying. So like this is to kind of recoup that bit of image by saying that they look forward to. Go ahead, read it. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can like they post the filing right here. And fun fact, this is nothing. Like this is the whole filing that's public right now.
It doesn't say anything about job offers in there.
No,
they're not giving her a new show on Disney Plus or anything.
Pursuant to federal rule of civil procedure, blah 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 blah. Plaintiff Gina Carano, on one hand, and defendants Walt Disney Company, Lucasfilm LLC, and Huckleberry Industries US. On the other, by and through their undersigned counsel, hereby stipulate this action, all claims, including all defenses asserted therein, be dismissed with prejudice. That is the legal article that Deadline is basing this article on.
Well, because the settlement is
it's private. A settlement. Yeah, nothing. Well, no, exactly. But like, number one, like, if it was some sort of pile driver, we don't know. But what it actually sounds to me like is Gina Carano taking money
and
walking away.
$75,000.
Yes.
Which is, you know, not a lot, man.
I mean, and there are so many judges right now that are calling this the outright victory. Here, I could probably pull it up here, but just calling this a victory. It's like, it's not. Like, she was supposed to fight this to the end to show how evil Disney is. That was the huge promise about this. And what does she do? She takes fucking money to end it. Disney says, let's just end it. And she says, okay, give me money. And that's it. Doesn't sound like a noble warrior. Well, I got Ben Shapiro on here calling it big win.
Yeah.
I know. Let me see. I know I can pull up some more. Yep, there. I knew Gary had one. There's fucking Gary. Win. It's like she took a fucking settlement, guys. She took the money and ran. That's what happened. Like, calling this a win is no. She's not going to prove how evil Disney is. In fact, she can't even fucking talk about Disney or this lawsuit or anything within it. It's all just tucked away now. If she talks about it, Disney will drag her ass in court.
She can't even go on to fucking Friday Night Shite and brag because she can't talk about it.
She can't talk about any of this. Like, calling this a victory is insanity. And the fact that Deadline frames it this way is beyond frustrating.
So the reason that they do that
this way too
is because of the statement that Disney made, which, you know, was definitely part of the agreement, the settlement, just because a company wouldn't make a statement like this at all if it wasn't part of some kind of legal purpose. What does it say? It says, we look forward to something about, we look forward to,
the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm are pleased to announce that we have reached an agreement with Gina Carano to resolve the issues in her pending lawsuit against the companies. Ms. Carano was always well respected by her directors, co-stars, staff, and she worked hard to perfect her craft while treating her colleagues with kindness and respect. With this lawsuit concluded, we look forward to identifying opportunities to work together with Ms. Carano in the near future.
Which does not mean
the writer of this
that
article, boom, what?
They have not offered her any jobs. They're not gonna. Fucking put money on it. She's not gonna work for Disney.
No,
she's not. This is just because she, you know, maybe even rightfully so, to some degree, had a complaint that they had like fucked up her. Even though we can blame it, it's really her fault. But having, you know, her saying some dumb shit on the internet, and then having Disney or Lucasfilm actually come out and say something that might have actually been a broader platform than her saying her own dumb shit, you know, and criticize her that way. Yeah, I could see an argument for like that they might have done some damage to her reputation although she's really the one that did it. Nonetheless, so them saying that is really just to fucking get her off their back, and so that she can't say that they fucking ruined her career. You know, which, by the way, is going to also go on to show that when she doesn't have any career anymore, because she's not going to, she was never going to.
Her career is over.
She should have felt so fucking lucky to be on fucking Mandalorian in the first place, man. She sucks. She really, like, I don't know if her talent agent, whoever, like, you know, whatever manager that transitioned her from UFC to acting is like, you're a fucking fantastic actor. I don't know if she like bought into that shit or what, but like, you know, you got to know your ability, and yeah, she has a presence, and I can see casting her in certain roles, right? But like, she's not a good actor.
No, I will admit, I think she got better as she progressed, but still was never good. Never.
Yeah. I mean, she's got. I mean, really, her I guess her features, her stature is really the best thing she's got going for, and that limits her roles, and not to mention the just inability to have much range.
She acted against Pedro Pascal, and these guys love to pan Pedro Pascal any chance they get. Do we really want to compare the acting talents of Pedro Pascal to Gina Carano? Like, come on.
Yep. with some con appearances. Yeah, exactly. She's gonna. She'll probably fucking milk her appearances on that show forever. But yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, I guess this can lead into a future story, but I know, like, Cincinnati Comic Expo, which I might be going to or might not, depending if they give me some press passes. They're having a whole bunch of Superman there, and one of them's going to be Dean Cain. And I'm debating whether or not I want to confront him with some of the shit he's been doing.
Boy.
Yeah, questionable people do go to cons.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised he's going to be there because he's got a new job. So I figured he'd be busy.
Yeah. He's going to be really busy. Let's see. It's here we go. Yes, ex-Superman actor is joining ICE.
He's just
so fun. Yeah. So fun fact. Part of the reason he's even able to join ICE, well, number one, they'd probably allow him in because there used to be an age limit. Part of the reason they'd probably let him in is just for publicity. But he is they have actually removed the age restriction on ICE, so anybody can join because they're having trouble recruiting.
They've lowered a lot of the standards from what I understand.
Yeah. Dean Cain is not a young man, and I don't want to criticize that, but like when I heard this, I was like, isn't he too old to join ICE? Like, the fuck?
I mean, yeah.
But like this is just embarrassing. I don't know how else to define this. Like, this is a man whose most famous role is playing one of the most famous fictional immigrants of all time. Yep. Easily the most famous comic book immigrant of all time.
Sorry, I had to throw this up here.
I don't know why you're throwing up there a picture of Dean Cain.
Sorry, it was an accident.
It's clearly just a photo, isn't it?
Yep. I mean, I'm surprised. Honestly, when's Steven Seagal going to join? That's what I've been waiting on. He's still in Russia.
Doing Russian propaganda.
Right.
God.
He's a dual citizen. I mean, look, and I would have said this. I don't care if Dean Cain was the nicest guy in the world. I don't care if he embodied the values of Superman in real life. I would still say that I think he's objectively the shittiest live action Superman actor. If you go and watch any clips from this, like, a while back, whenever he was commenting on the shit I had, made when he was talking about the movie and saying, "Oh, James Gunn shouldn't have said that about being an immigrant," whatever. I found those clips where in the goddamn show, he's literally talked about being an immigrant and stuff like that. And just watching those clips, he's just so whiny. He does not fucking portray Superman to me at all. He's just like, he's got this fucking whiny little tone that I just don't like at all. Yeah.
Well, listen, when I was younger, I did enjoy that show, and upon rewatch, it has aged like milk. But
Terry Hatcher hasn't.
Terry Hatcher is still awesome. But I will say one thing. The only thing I'll give him credit for is that his was the first version of the modern age Superman that really got any popular attention. Which to a degree, that's more the showrunners that chose that one. But I will give him credit for that. But other than that, Dean Cain's a piece of shit.
Yeah, man. He's I didn't know that he was what is he? Half Asian or something?
Oh, yeah, no, that's an interesting. Oh, I'm not on screen. Let me go and bring that up. Yeah, so that's another interesting idea. So like Dean Cain, let me pull this up real fast because I didn't want to go into that, because one of the things that was very famous about him when he was cast, there wasn't really a chud space, but he is the first and I think only actor who is half Japanese to play Superman.
Oh, I didn't know that. I honestly had no idea. Here we have
a shit show over it now.
A photo of the guy that ate Dean Cain here. Looking like he's ready to get on.
Dean Cain is a stage name. His name is Dean Takanaka.
Takanaka or Tanaka? Robert Valek here says Tanaka.
It's probably Tanaka. You're probably pronouncing it more correct than I am. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, apparently, I don't think this is from his recently. I mean, I think this is before his, yeah. But, I guess, look, from what I've seen of Ice guys, news clips and stuff like that, he does have the physique for it. So
true. I mean, he looks like he's probably in better shape than your average ICE agent.
He's not half Japanese. He's part Japanese. His dad was 75% Asian. I mean, okay, fair enough.
Okay.
6 to 1/2, 12 another. Well, we're not too worried about the.
He's 3/8 Japanese.
We're not doing a paper bag test here. He is in shape for ice work because that's what ice does. You know what? Speaking of ice, we have another thing to talk about here. Apparently, Star Wars theory now works for the DHS. That's not true. I'm just saying that's a setup for what we're about to look at. So this is so stupid. Did you watch John Oliver this last episode?
No, I need to get caught up, but it seems like he's been on fire recently. I know he said some shit about Dean Cain, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, so he let me see. He talked about ice and stuff like that, and there was a part where apparently a couple months ago some border station or something like that posted a shit post of the Vader scene from Rogue One where he's cutting down all the rebels and shit, and it's like,
yes,
you saw that where it's like they edited it to have like and just like, dude,
they keep identifying with the villains, and it's like, do you not understand? Like, the media illiteracy is just so fucking clear.
Well, so John Oliver emailed, or I guess they emailed the DHS to find out what the fuck is up with that. Why is that okay? Well, they responded to John Oliver's, I guess his company or whatever, and they said, so let's see. Early this year, a leading Border Patrol agent posted a video from the end of Rogue One depicting his team as Vader slicing up helpless rebels, each named as a perceived problem: fake news, fentanyl, gang member, etc. The implication is the Border Patrol, like Vader, is a hero saving the U.S. from all these problems. The actual problem, of course, is that Darth Vader isn't a hero. So that was released in May, and this week was featured in a segment on Last Week Tonight about ICE. Oliver joked about the video saying, okay, if I may quote an insufferable man on the first Bumble date, have you ever seen Star Wars? Because that's pretty famously the bad guy. Imagine how morally bankrupt you have to be to watch the most famous villain in cinematic history murdering a bunch of people, some of whom are literally begging for help, and think he's so us.
Yes.
But that's not the wild part. The wild part is that Oliver's show reached out to the Department of Homeland Security for comment on the video and actually got a response. The response is, not to spoil the plot, but as any Star Wars fans knows, Darth Vader is also Anakin Skywalker. I don't think DHS has to regale the American public on the heroism of Skywalker. They know.
They do know by the end of the prequel trilogy, Anakin Skywalker's a full-fledged villain, right? He is Darth Vader. Like,
in that fucking scene, it's like,
no.
It boggles the mind. Do they think that, like, but that's why I was like, did Star Wars Theory fucking write this? You know what I mean?
Well,
because he's the one that thinks.
Yeah. That is wild. I mean, that argument also would only have credence if there was a scene of Anakin. It's literally a scene of Darth Vader slaughtering rebels. Just I
don't get it. This is a Gizmodo article here. It says, outside the wild stretch of assuming the American public understands that Darth Vader is Anakin Skywalker and that Skywalker is a hero, there is a lot to unpack. First of all, I would like to have them regale the American public on the heroism of Skywalker. Was it when he killed a bunch of kids, force choked his wife, cut off a man's head with 2 lightsabers? Or are they actually somehow referring to his heroic exploits during the Clone Wars animated series? In that show, yes, he was a hero, but it doesn't change what happened next. The subjugation of the entire galaxy through terror and violence. Also, we'd venture to guess most people who aren't Star Wars fans don't know about any of that.
Yeah.
Also, an even nerdier note is they know an Empire Strikes Back reference. I'm sure it sure feels like it. Also, why is spoiling the plot something they're worried about? Maybe we're less worried about spoiling the plots of most famous movies of all time and more worried about being just and human to American immigrants.
I mean, I think that is so wild. Like when you tell most people about Darth Vader, they don't, like, their response isn't, Oh, you mean the big hero from that Clone Wars series? That is not your average response when you ask people about Darth Vader. That's just so wild.
The U.S. government has a long history of not really understanding Star Wars, going back to Ronald Reagan's use of the term in his defense platform. But this instance has to be one of the oddest and funniest. So, yeah, I agree with that. Bricks and screws. Yep.
God.
And then there's some good commentary that I hadn't really like. I had generally take it for granted because I haven't thought about it much beyond this. That Vader was redeemed, right? Was he really? Because I mean, obviously the Force thinks he was.
Whoa.
Whatever he did was like the Force is like, all right, you're cool now, bro. But really, all he did was what Sith do anyway, which is kill their master.
Well, I mean, if you understand media, yes, he was redeemed, but the only way he could redeem himself was to die, because what he had done was so awful that the only way he could possibly redeem himself is to die for the other side, essentially. Nah.
Just like Kylo Ren, which is the only thing that Rise of Skywalker did right.
Yeah.
Yep. I was worried for a second. I was wondering because the movie was so like not what I was wanting. By the end, I was like,
yeah.
I was glad to see his fucking redemption. It was fucking awesome. Glad to see them fight together. That's all cool. But I was like, if he fucking lives, I'm fucking tearing this theater down. You don't kill Han Solo and live, motherfucker.
No. That's a common media thing. Like, there are characters that do things that are so fucking evil that even if they redeem themselves at the end, they still have to die.
It's like John Wick's puppy. Everybody has to die for 5 movies. Everybody has to die because of the puppy.
I mean, hell, I just finished watching Deep Space Nine with my daughter. Damar is a huge example. Like, he was a revolutionary hero at the end, but he had done stuff so evil throughout that series that he doesn't get to live to see New Cardassia. He has to die.
And that's what, you know what, Damar's turn there at the end, spoiler alert, is one of my favorite parts of the whole thing, just because
that twist at the end is so awesome.
You don't see it coming, but it makes sense because especially watching back when you see all the ways that fucking Ducat just shit on him all the stuff. Like, but yeah, anyway.
Not Ducat, but Wayun. But yeah, like, I mean, Wayun and the Dominions are just constantly shitting on him.
True.
Yeah. Speaking of which, little self-promotion, my new Star Trek video is absolutely tanking in the views right now. Make sure to check it out. It was fun to put together. I kind of want to start doing a thing where I do like a chud coverage, then do more like a fan thing. So guys, help me out. Go check it out.
It is rough out there, guys. It's not your faults. It's the algorithms, but it is also your faults. No, just kidding.
True.
I mean, you don't click on the stuff.
I'm not playing so much into the algorithm game, which hurts me a lot, but I'm also doing stuff I want to do. So
I've been kind of trying to find a way to do both. We're working on a new show, On Your Left, which, you know, I need to have you on as a guest once we get it going.
Sure.
The first episode,
I'm way more available now. Summer's over, so.
First episode of which will be on the 17th. We'll be covering Alien and Aliens in, you know, honor of the new Alien Earth show, in algorithmic honor. And basically the premise of the thing is that it's called On Your Left, which is you know, it's a reference. You get that. But what we're going to be covering, like superhero, science fiction, fantasy kind of genre media. And looking at the film politics, like the politics of the canon of what's happening in the thing, and then also the real world politics at the time the thing was made, what they kind of say about things, and what we can kind of analyze about that. So
that sounds interesting.
We did it with we kind of had a proto episode with Superman versus Iron Man, where we looked at how both movies, the new Superman movie and then the first Iron Man movie, the hero flies into another country and intervenes amongst some shit. And so, like, what are the differences there? How did each one handle that? What are the ramifications of it, and so on? That was pretty interesting because, you know, that's where basically where the similarities begin and end, is that they both did that. Because for one, like, Iron Man's very much a product of post 9/11 time, where he did it not because it was the right thing to do, although it was the right thing to do and that was a benefit, but he got mad once he heard that Jensen, the guy that helped him, you know, escape the cave, that it was his village that was being attacked. So he was like, fuck this. So it was very personal, like, fuck this, you know, you're just I'm gonna kind of reasons that he went in there and did it. Very, I mean, post 9/11 kind of vibe.
I mean, I can also tell you the why racist will feel better about the one, because in one, the brown people are being killed, and in the other one, the brown people are being protected.
Yeah. I mean, I did raise the point that in that episode of just kind of as a devil's advocate of like, is it kind of a cop out that they didn't show Superman doing what he did in because we don't see it, we just hear about it. You know, the movie starts and he's already done that, where he flew into what you call it, that country, and
well, I mean,
and then
I don't like the way he describes it. There's not a whole lot, actually, I would argue, to see, because all he did was kind of threaten the guy.
He put the guy on a cactus. I'm saying, imagine if that's the first thing we saw this Superman doing. I think that would kind of paint him in a different light, you know, right off the bat.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd be the best light to paint him in, though. I mean, I
no,
think
it works for pacing.
as a visual works well. I mean,
I don't think it needs to be any different. I'm just saying, if you imagine that if we saw him do that, it's kind of a bully move. And yeah, the guy's a piece of shit and he deserved it. But like at the same time, that's the first, you know, we're just trying to establish a Superman who's very compassionate and stuff. And you know, of course, we know that he's doing it for the right reasons, but still, it just the way whenever they talk about it, it's kind of done as set him on a cactus or whatever. Like, you know, anyway, just something to discuss. That was all. But you know, I want to talk about
Superman movie's awesome.
It is. But like, you know, I'm wanting to talk about this stuff in a, you know, it serves similar purpose of the content that we do, which is these guys are putting these bad narratives and this bad analysis out there about these movies and shit all the time. We need not just stuff like we do already, where we're like, oh, they're wrong. Here's why they're wrong. It's stupid.
Yeah.
They're lying, but also content that shows you a different way to look at stuff, you know, and think about things.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that could have been funny. Yeah. At least he didn't break his neck. Yes.
Again, one of the most controversial things, and the controversial thing in my mind is that they didn't explore it. They just did it and just dropped it. And it's like, well, no, it wasn't good then. No.
I mean, I guess if you wanted to do headcanon, you can say that that's why he's moping around in Batman versus Superman. But
you have like the way the Snyder Bros talk, you have to do headcanon for like all this shit. It's like, it's so deep, you have to think about it. It's like, no, it's not. The dude is just into cool looking visuals, and it's all he fucking knows. And it's...
No, I disagree, man. I completely disagree. I think having that misses the point, because he inspired these cynical kind of corporate heroes that he's friends with. He's buddies with them, but they were not interested or concerned with going into another country to do the right thing. They were only doing, you know, like I think that's absolutely wrong call.
Well, I'm actually kind of confused. So like the majority of it isn't there, but the third act definitely takes place partially in Baravia. It's just not Superman there. Superman literally has to help save the world.
Right.
The world is at stake.
And he trusts other people, the people that he's inspired to do the right thing, which is you know, they do something that's very Superman.
And Hawkgirl totally kills Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, the leader of
whatever his name is. It's not that.
Yeah.
Not that. That's not his name. That's not.
It's not Netanyahu. I don't know what I'm saying.
Apparently, that guy does resemble the first prime minister of Israel. That's what I understand.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, like that guy had crazy hair and stuff. Anyway, what else we got?
Let's see. Oh, I had that story pulled up, the one you were just talking about with Darth Vader.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to step on you there.
No. I just didn't realize we'd already covered it. I haven't really gone over this. I don't know. I guess we can talk about this and kind of go over it as it is. This thing, Jeff Bezos reportedly obsessed with casting wife Lauren Sanchez a major role in Amazon's James Bond, which is gross. Very, very gross. Yeah.
Ryan.
Oh, here he is.
Gross. Very, very gross.
We got some bleed coming back from your audio there. There you go.
Should we okay now?
Yep.
So we were just going over. We were just going over the story here with Jeff Bezos wanting to cast his wife in something, which I'm sure she marries him for his personality.
Right.
And I'm going to say pinch of salt with this article, because it's not widespread, this news. So there's only a few channels of the entertainment channels that are picking up on
I mean,
it
does kind of stink of like gossipy rumor, you know, kind of shit. We'll see, but like, you know, let's set this table for a second and talk about James Bond franchise. I don't know if it can be great anymore. I watched the new Patrick Williams video on this the other day where he kind of went through the Daniel Craig.
I've been wanting to watch it. I haven't yet. But.
And he kind of makes a strong point that like the best movie is Casino Royale, and then everything after that is just kind of trying to keep which is the Bond movies have always done, try to like catch up to whatever the current hot thing is in movies and stuff.
I would argue Casino Royale is the best Bond movie, period. I mean, there's some good ones, but Casino Royale, fuck,
it's
that just raised the bar.
It's not schlocky or anything. It's not dated. It's not. I mean, it's legitimately fucking compelling and like a strong character study of the character. But like the argument he lays out in his video is that basically James Bond was never meant to be like basically once you start him out as somebody who's naive and he's young and he's just getting started, and then he falls in love, and then he fucking the woman he loves, spoiler alert, gets killed, and it fucking turns him into this cold, just calculating ladies man who doesn't really give a fuck about anything except the mission. That's not that's not like a character to explore anymore.
I mean we're spoiling Casino Royale, we're spoiling Star Trek Deep Space Nine, we're just spoiling everything today.
Old thing. So like even in the very next movie, which it could be because of the whole writer strike and the fact that it was not a very good movie in general, but like he's just like a stone-faced killer in that movie. He's not even really and then he doesn't really have anything interesting to do character-wise again until kind of stuff in Skyfall a little bit, but then at the with the last one where they basically had to, spoiler alert, kill him to make him fucking compelling again.
Well, they also had to kill him because like Daniel Craig was really done with that franchise. It was like, okay, we'll do another one, but
and I think that's a good one. I think the first one and the last one are really good. Skyfall is also very good.
No, it's wild. So like there are 5 Daniel Craig movies. The first one's the best James Bond movie in my opinion. The third one is solid, and then the last one is solid. And then Quantum of Solace is arguably, like, an argument can be made, it's the worst James Bond movie. It's not my least favorite, but it is really fucking bad. Yeah. And then Spectre,
it's just not really,
I'll be honest, like Act 1 of Spectre had me kind of sold. Like it felt like a modernized Goldfinger type story, and I really enjoyed it. And then Act 2 to 3, just that movie fell off a fucking cliff.
Where it turns into fucking Star Trek Into Darkness with the reveal that's like
except
false
way flat. Like honestly, I would argue worse than Star Trek Into Darkness. I'm not a fan of Star Trek Into Darkness at all, but at least I can find like raw entertainment from that. Like Spectre, just it goes from being pretty entertaining to boring and weird and the fuck.
I don't even remember how it ends.
Well, the fatal flaw with Star Trek Into Darkness is that they keep the fact that Benedict Cumberbatch is playing Khan a secret from the audience, but in doing so have to keep it a secret from the cast or the characters. The characters don't know who he is anyway. So
when he says it's the moment where he like says it, and it's like, who is he saying it? I'm God. Yeah. Who are you saying that for? Why are you talking like this?
They don't. You're saying that to the audience. Kirk and Spock don't know who the fuck Khan is.
No. So that's the biggest downfall of it, is that makes absolutely no sense, and that. But I think Spectre is more flawed than just that single thing. Yeah. I mean, the reveal that he's Blofeld is like, by that point, nobody's going.
And Blofeld is his brother, and it's like,
I am the author of all of your pain. Like, no, this is very fucking Romulus and Wolverine vibes. I don't like it. Anybody knows how I feel about Romulus in the Wolverine comics. It's just like that. Like, don't give a character who's had a lot of crazy shit happen to him. Don't retroactively bring in a big bad villain who is responsible for everything. It just it cheapens everything that happened.
I mean, I would say the only reason to do that is if you genuinely were planning that. But they obviously weren't. It was obviously tacked on.
Right.
Well, they sort of were with the first 3 Daniel Craig films, from Casino through Quantum. They were laying the groundwork that Quantum was the enemy, the
right.
big bad.
But then it's actually Quantum is just the bitch of Spectre.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you want to tell me Mads Mikkelsen is maybe working for a big bad, which I would believe because he was in Dead to a lot of people, I would buy that. But like, I'm trying to think. Javier Bardem, I don't remember the name of these characters. Javier Bardem was obviously on a very personal grudge. Yeah, I do not believe he's like hired by somebody to do
exactly.
this.
You literally can't watch that movie and think that he is doing anything for anyone, right? Like,
that's exactly the film where that Quantum storyline is just thrown away completely and goes off on a completely different tangent, only for Spectre to then come back and say, "Oh no, not only was that other stuff connected and is actually us, but this thing that was definitely not connected in any way because he fully explained who he was in that film, that was also connected."
That would be like I don't know, fucking, Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, which has its own problems, being like, I was responsible for everything the Joker did. Like, wait, what? How did you fucking?
No, it's like we just brought up Star Trek. General Chang in Star Trek 6 revealing that Khan, like he was responsible for everything Khan did in Wrath of Khan. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's a whole mess. But nonetheless, fuck Jeff Bezos. I mean, I hope they're able to make something that's worth seeing. I guess I'd hate to see the franchise fall into obscurity and shit. But like, I do believe, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'd lack imagination. I don't know. But
the problem they've got is that in some ways, James Bond, the film franchise, is now irrelevant in the modern world.
Relic of Cold War era, and we're in Cold War 2.0 now. So
I don't know if either of you have seen or have had Apple TV at all, but if you've seen any of Slow Horses, I mean, that's a show about British intelligence service.
I've seen it advertised, but I haven't watched it.
Well, it's about a department that is kind of deals with all the shitty cases. So it's led by Gary Oldman's character, who is like kind of a super spy, but he's the sort of super spy who A, hates being a super spy, and B, everything he does is completely in darkness from even his bosses. So he's the public face of him is he's smelly, dirty, drinks too much, eats too much, farts a lot, smokes, and everybody hates him, but he's also a genius. And so that the sort of cases they take are what the actual spy services do, small domestic terrorism, things like that. So when James Bond started, people didn't know about other countries. The fact that they were going to other countries and showing them on the big screen, that's as close as some people got to a holiday.
Yeah, that was novel back then, yeah.
But now you can see it everywhere. But having said that, if you go back to the books, they're much more small scale.
Yeah.
So if you really want to do it, and they're going to have to reboot it at this point because there's nothing they can tell. I don't think there's any stories they can tell with a new actor, like younger, older, whatever.
Yeah, they'd have to bring in somebody who is who takes on the code name James Bond if they continue this universe. It would be weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I just realized that I kind of had this feeling before and was proven wrong about a franchise, and that was with Matt Reeves' The Batman. I was like, really? They're going darker and grittier and grounded more. Like, didn't we kind of already do that? And I didn't really see how that could be a new ground to break. But Matt Reeves proved me wrong.
Yeah, he did it in the stylized way, which I think is in a lot of ways way more comic accurate. All respect to Christopher Nolan and what he was going for. I really liked Matt Reeves' take. I think that's really cool.
And I don't even think you need to go grittier and darker or more realistic.
No.
I think you could go completely unrealistic, but make it small. So he's not saving the world.
Oh, so you're not Moonraker, not
No. Well, even the Moonraker book is different. They don't go they don't go to space in Moonraker. Although it was on TV the other day, and
they do. It's very briefly at the end, but they do.
Yeah, they send rockets up, but it's the whole plan is completely different, isn't it? As if my memory serves.
No, they're on a space station at the end of that movie.
Not with the intention of recolonizing the Earth, though. don't remember.
It's been a while. I don't remember, but
In
they're
the
definitely
film
space.
they are, but in the book, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, in the book, I've only read the first book, so.
Yeah, no, in the book, I think it's about him sending rockets into space, not recolonizing. But having said that, I watched the film the other day. It happened to be on, and I thought, an insane billionaire wanting to start his own colony in space of what he considers the perfect examples of the species. And we used to say that this is far-fetched.
Yeah, this is crazy movie shit here. This is
this is super villain stuff.
If you know what, that could be one thing they could do is find some way to make it super relevant. But I don't see maybe Bezos doing that. I don't know. Of course,
Well, I think that's even harder because at the time that James Bond came out, Britain was a world power, America was an ally, Russia was an enemy, which I mean, in some ways it still is, but but certainly not in the same way it is now. So you can't tell. It can't be about Russia versus the West anymore because that's different. Unless he's going into Ukraine and doing spy stuff there. And
no, I mean even the movie we talked about. I don't know if we talked about it on this show, but did you guys watch Heads of State?
No,
I didn't see it yet.
It's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. It's a throwback kind of thing, but also pretty fun. It's like some genius was watching the Suicide Squad and said, "What if we had John Cena and Idris Elba basically playing kind of the same characters, but in a different context, and just focused on them?" Which is
they did have great chemistry in the Suicide Squad. So
and then it's that there John Cena is the American president, and then basically if Arnold was American and had become president essentially, so he's an action movie actor who's now become president. He's got all these classic dumb guy action movies in his catalog, and then Idris Elba is basically just kind of a jaded older prime minister, and then shenanigans ensue. It's pretty fucking entertaining, but the point is, like, the bad guy is Russian and very Russian coded, but like he's a free agent. He's not like, he doesn't represent Russia, but the plot does revolve specifically around him wanting to destroy NATO. And it's like, okay, so I guess that's where we're at right now politically, is we can't actually say Russia's doing this, but we can have a Russian guy that represents what Putin clearly wants to do, doing terrorist stuff. And anyway, pretty fun.
Yeah, this is the problem. If you want to do a film like a James Bond film now, the villains have changed, which has been a problem for the last 30 years. But also, is Jeff Bezos really going to greenlight a film where the villain is an evil billionaire?
I mean, he's
if he thinks it'll make money, probably. I mean,
that's true.
I've been surprised by some of the stuff that they put on there, which just strikes me as like control opposition type content. Like it's all calculated. I imagine, like, well, if we let them think that they're watching something transgressive or whatever, then they'll, I don't know.
Well, that's the one thing that makes me a bit suspicious of this story is, yes, he's obviously an egotist, Bezos, but is he stupid enough to say, I'm going to put my new wife in my James Bond film?
Yeah.
Because everybody will love that. I mean, that seems off to me.
I'm sure she's a brilliant actress. I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, she's not even that pretty to me, but it's neither here nor there.
No.
What else do we have here? Oh, we got this.
Founded on a very basic double standard. This country was founded by slave owners who wanted to be free. Am I right? A group of slave owners who wanted to be free. So they killed a lot of white English people in order to continue owning their black African people, so they could wipe out the rest of the red Indian people and move west and steal the rest of the land from the brown Mexican people, giving them a place to take off and drop their nuclear weapons on the yellow Japanese people. You know what the motto of this country ought to be? You give us a color, we'll wipe it out.
That guy, he's going places. He's up and coming kind of stand-up comic.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna be a big name one day.
Yeah, they're probably cancel him. If he keeps talking like that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure the right would be really upset with George Carlin now, but of course, I think they also try to claim him. But
It does remind me of something I saw, which is, again, the infinity spiral of depressing news. Is they're going after the Smithsonian now.
Of course. Fuck. Of course.
Not just the main story, the big one is obviously they want it to reflect America's successes rather than, tell history like museums are designed to do. So they want it to do that. But also they want the ability to potentially throw stuff away. So they want to be able to get rid of stuff permanently from the Smithsonian.
Yeah, because why would you want to keep anything in a museum? That's just a bunch of trash sitting around.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Have you been noticing the as of late, Ryan, with South Park, and then earlier we were talking about Marc Maron, the comedy's doing a thing. Comedy's trying to do a thing against all this fascism.
Yeah, I guess it's the bulwark of entertainment, particularly stand-up, because they're in front of a real audience every time they go out, for the most part. So that's when you're going to see they will be reacting to the audience rather than sort of reacting to the news or anything else. And I guess South Park does the same because its turnover is less than a week. And that's positive.
It's good. It's a good thing. Not just for obviously for the politics of it, but it's been pretty frustrating to see essentially stand-up comedy just completely be overtaken by if not fascists, then just like people too dumb to realize that they're tools for fascists.
I've got to be honest, that's a uniquely American phenomenon. It's not the case over here at all. No, I would say that the stand-up scene for its issues in the UK is predominantly mostly left-wing. And our sort of podcast, comedians making podcast sphere is the same. But of course, none of it's on the scale of what you got over there with your Rogans and all those other.
Well,
idiots.
I mean, it's been cool. I don't know if you've seen anything from Marc Maron in the last week, but he's coming out strong, coming out swinging.
Yeah, I saw him on the Majority Report and clips of the interview on the other podcast, and the Bill Burr stuff about billionaires as well.
Yep. Bill Burr's like he's not saying names like Maron is, but you can tell he's talking about when he's talking about, like, he literally is on that what's it called? Some podcast I haven't heard of before, but he's doing an interview and he just says, there's these podcasts that exist that if you're a white nationalist and you want to spew your white nationalist shit, you can just go on there and they'll just let you. You know what I mean? And it's like, I wonder who he's talking about. But yeah. And then also,
I do know Bill Burr has been very open in mocking Elon Musk. I do know he's named on that one.
The hall at the comedy club, at the Comedy Store, and in one room someone's doing their bit about trans people, and then I get down the hall and there's someone on stage going, well, I guess I got to do my bit about trans people. Like, no, you don't. We've lost a tremendous amount of democratic leaning ideas and
real quick, the trans people thing, I just want to point out how disappointed I am with Dave Chappelle, who I think is a very funny guy, but I feel like he was really the first one to start like everybody making fun of trans people, and it is so fucking gross. And now every bit, like 20 minutes of every special is like bashing trans people. It's like, fuck.
Maron, I think one of the reasons that he is just calling people out by name now is because he had a thing that happened like earlier, like almost a year ago, where he was talking about someone but didn't mention their name, and he was saying, now you got these comedians that like you can make millions of dollars. This whole Netflix scam where like you can just do a pop-up comedy routine and you're drunk off your ass and make $1 million or whatever, and everybody thought he was talking about Dave Chappelle. I'm sorry, everybody thought he was talking about fucking Bert Kreischer. That's right. So people told Bert Kreischer, and he's like, what are you talking about me? And he called me. He's like, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Dave Chappelle. And he's like, oh, that makes sense. So, but for a while there was, people were pissed at him, I guess, because apparently Bert Kreischer has fans. He's a bit of a hack for sure. But yeah, this whole this obviously applies to not just comedy, but all the content we cover as well. Just like it's become so fucking beyond the morality of it and the fact that it actually is harmful to trans people and stuff. it's just fucking rote and tired, and like, do something different. Talk about other things. You guys can't fucking, you're still going to play victim to the 1% of the population that wasn't hurting you in the first place, but now definitely isn't hurting you.
It's taking comedy backwards, and not in the sense of that, they're making fun of minorities, but the fact that they're all basically telling the same jokes now, which is something that they did in the early days of stand-up in the 50s and 60s, and continued on into the 70s, where comedians wouldn't have their set. They would have a list of jokes, and in some cases there would be like a list of jokes, and the comedians would share which ones they're going to do. So I'll do 2, 3, and 4. You can do 5, 6, and 7.
Carlin was one of the main ones that fucking cut through that noise and started doing it different. Because Carlin was very much part of the, the 50s, kind of like the way comedy was in the 50s, where it was like very, very, stuffy and
old school Carlin. It's still funny, but it's so different than what he became famous
definitely, you could, if you hear him talk about, like, I've listened to his audiobook and stuff, he's talked about how much he just wanted to break out of that shit, and he did as soon as he could. And
they were literally telling jokes, and they were jokes that then people would tell to each other, and they'd get passed around, but they continue to do them as part of their routine, even though everybody had heard them and everybody knew what the punchline was. It's crazy. Because doing research for one of my Rockville Files episodes, I discovered that because one of them based around a stand-up comedian, and there was an instance of one comedian, a male comedian, who entirely stole the routine of a female comedian, and she was upset because she used to write her own stuff, and he didn't. So what she did to get her revenge is, because not when they were performing, she just heard him do her jokes. So when they were performing together, she went on before him, did his entire routine, and then he had to come on. He couldn't do anything. He didn't have any jokes left to tell.
That's great.
But here's a young comedian who's kind of an upstart. Let's see what he has to say about comedians who punch down.
Okay.
I would defend to the death his right to do everything he does. The thing that I find unusual, and it's not a criticism so much, but his targets are underdogs. And comedy traditionally has picked on people in power, people who abuse their power. Women and gays and immigrants are kind of, to my way of thinking, underdogs. And, he ought to be careful because he's Jewish. And a lot of the people who want to pick on these kind of groups, the Jews are on that list a little further. You got women, gays, gypsies, blah, 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 and then suddenly you find Jews. And Andrew,
suddenly Andrew's arrested.
Yeah. So, obviously he should do what he wants. And
why does he get away with it, do you think, then? Well, we have never laughed at jokes about the poor.
He's appealing. I think he's appealing largely. I think his core audience are young white males who are threatened by these groups. I think a lot of these guys aren't sure their manhood, because that's a problem when you're going in through adolescence. Could I be? I hope I'm not one of them. And the women who assert themselves and are competent are a threat to these men. And so are immigrants in terms of jobs.
So that's why we as an audience then will laugh.
You say we, I don't think you're
But I think you're collective we.
I think that's what is at the core of that experience that takes place in these arenas. Is a certain a sharing of anger and rage at these targets. And I'm sure Andrew isn't that angry at them. I'm sure he's playing it as a comic.
Wow. I mean, Carlin was way off there. None of that came through, did it?
Yeah, no. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. None of that is relevant in today's.
Well, I mean, look, that guy might have a future in comedy, but this guy for sure is going places. Let's see.
That every American ought to see. This here is a list of 146 outstanding communists in the State Department. Each and every one of these 123 names has been thoroughly investigated by the FBI. We're going to take these 94 guys and throw them in jail where they belong. The whole 62 of them, believe me. You get a list with 38 names on it like that, and you know how to work with it. We know how to handle these 17 commies. Not one of the 5 of them will get away. And when that guy shows up, he's in trouble, pal, I'll tell you that.
So fucking roasting the Red Scare in the middle of it. That's fucking great. Yeah, it's
You know, I've always felt like the point of comedy is to speak truth to power, and like, yeah, when people are powerless, and
that was
making
George
fun of
Carlin.
them, it's like, fuck.
If you're, I don't know if you're joking. If you aren't, then that was George Carlin.
He's some nobody.
His,
Not relevant at all.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Steve Hofstetter, he apparently, like, I've just known him. I've avoided his content for a long time because I just thought he was the guy that does the heckler videos all the time, which he does. But I didn't realize that he'd also gotten into, at some point, fucking roasting MAGA and shit.
I didn't know
goes
that.
hard. He goes hard on them. Yeah.
Like, this is a good one here.
The thing about it,
Sorry, what's up?
Just before you show the clip, what he does as well is he's not using his sort of abilities to destroy them completely with facts and logic. He's just asking them questions that they have no answer for.
Yep. I got a clip of another guy doing that here in a second too. It's not a comedian, but it can be pretty funny to watch.
How come you guys are still liberals and not socialist, communist, or anarchists?
How come we're still liberals, we're not socialists, communists, or anarchists? Do you know what those words all mean?
Yeah, good question.
Because I'm not a liberal, I'm a progressive, which is different. You said socialist, communist, or anarchist, those are the choices? Yeah. Why are those together? Since they're opposing philosophies. So from our sets, did any of us give off the vibe that we think the government should control the means of production?
I don't know. I heard a lot of Biden support.
You heard a lot of Biden support. Biden! You think Biden is a socialist, communist, or anarchist? You think the most centrist Democratic president in history is a... But you're the one...
I think he's a fascist.
You think he's a fascist? I think...
Wait, is he a socialist or a fascist? What?
I am going to have a fucking aneurysm, Steve. I understand. I like the idea that you think he's both a socialist and a fascist. And an anarchist. I think you just learned the suffix "ist" recently. And let me tell you this, that question was the dumbest. So...
Yeah.
God. Well, I mean, they throw those terms around. They obviously don't know what any of them mean. Like, you challenge any of them to define what any of those terms are. They have no fucking idea. They just throw them around. They think they think Nazi and communist mean the same thing, but just on different sides. It's like,
it's the mean people that do think that
mean the same. They mean the same thing. They don't mean this.
Yeah. Oh man, it's a rough one. Trying to get through these people. It's almost like they're stupid and morally bankrupt.
It's almost like so much of our country's been conquered by the Dunning-Kruger effect. I swear to God.
Yeah, it is like that. Ryan, you might be able to answer for this guy. You know this guy? Is he your neighbor or something?
From slogans to evidence, and the gap is the whole story. Watch how quickly certainty collapses when it meets a simple request. Show your facts. This isn't a recent clip, but most people haven't seen it. And its lesson...
All right, this is the atmosphere that Donald Trump has come into. The average Americans don't vote because they're just disenchanted with the entire thing. They think they're all crooks. It doesn't matter. And for people to scoff and say, oh, well, there's no proof of that. Oh, it can't be true.
Yes.
I'm sorry, man. I just think that's a little bit naive. Yeah, I mean...
So you're talking about an environment of... Because Trump is the crook that they thought all politicians were, but he comes...
But the thing is he's an honest crook, mate. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's not hiding it. You know, you say that, oh, Biden sounded like a statesman. Like, that's a good thing.
Yes.
It's not.
Right.
It's somebody who spent their life being a polished liar, taking corporate agenda and pushing it through.
Are you describing what
these are not good things.
Are you describing what you think now, or what you think they think?
This is what I believe, and this is what I've spoken to many of my friends back in America. We talk about these things, you know. And you've got the whole media juggernaut as well.
If I asked you to persuade me that Joe Biden was a polished liar, what would you do?
I just pointed his 50-year career.
Yeah, well, go on.
How else could he possibly stay in power? I mean, this is
that's a question. That's a question, not an answer.
From outside.
No, I know, but I just want you to.
I'll be honest with you.
This is the turning point. The caller labels Biden as a smooth-talking deceiver, but admits, I lack evidence. This is the trend that James O'Brien is highlighting.
Oh, shit. 3 months. Is that on mine?
You
or
are
yours?
a member of somebody's channel. Thank you. Make sure you join all the channels.
Pretty sure he's been a member of my channel for 3 months. Thank you for big field for that, man.
Okay.
All
right.
Awesome.
Nice.
And yeah, by the way, you can be a member of the channel. I'm thinking about doing. Here's what I'm thinking about doing. 99-cent memberships, because like right now all I have is $5, and I realize that might be even more than some people can swing right now, because it's more than I could fucking swing if I was trying to do it. So yeah, I'll think about something like that. But also Patreon, you can support me over there. Also, Bob's got a Patreon. Ryan, do you have a Patreon?
No, I don't. No, because I've got.
Well, send me some money and I'll send it to Ryan. I'll be Ryan's Patreon.
For tax
but yeah.
purposes, I can say that they won't send me any money. If local tax officials are listening, Dane's definitely not going to send me money.
Yeah.
That's the issue here. Is why my channel's not monetized as well, because it's too much hassle for the couple of pence that I would get every month to.
Eggs are so cheap, they're paying me to take eggs now. That's what Trump did.
Yeah,
that's what tariffs are doing.
Yes, the economy is going so great. Thank God Trump fixed it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I couldn't fucking believe. I mean, I can believe it, but like the fact that he fired the fucking numbers guy, that's the most cartoonish authoritarian thing you can do. You know what I mean? Just like, I don't like the numbers, get rid of the numbers guy.
Well, I mean, it's the same type of thing. Like remember during COVID, and he was so upset that the tests were showing so many positive cases, and his answer was, "We got to slow down the test."
Right. Yeah.
It's like, you fucking dipshit. No, you got to address the fucking virus that's spread everywhere. That's super fucking contagious.
I mean, it just goes. Yeah.
This is what we say about, and this is sort of like the Chud playbook as well. The people on the right who support him firing the statistics people said that, obviously they're getting the statistics wrong, so they're not doing their job properly, and that's why he fired them. And that's a simple answer to a far more complicated question, because the reason that the numbers were wrong is because that the numbers are always wrong. They're always estimates, like we've talked about with box office numbers. They're always estimates until they're not. So the figures are revised down or up when they get more information, because they've got no way of knowing exactly how many jobs were created in the previous month. They don't get those figures for another 3 months.
I mean, especially when you're looking at box office numbers, it should be obvious, because lots of times, like on Sunday, they'll be like, here's the weekend numbers. And every movie has like around 18 million, 13 million, and it's exactly on that number. And it's like, why is that? Because it's a fucking estimate. We don't know.
Yep. But that's it's crazy that they I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say anymore. It's just fucking crazy. We're in crazy town.
The world has gone insane. I don't know. I don't know how to fix it.
So yeah, that Spider-Man movie looks cool. I just keep going back to that.
Get it.
Yeah, he can get it. Anytime I start spiraling out on all the crazy shit going on, I'm just like, man, that Spider-Man movie, I'm excited. It's although when you look at the reports and the leaks and the official stuff that's come out about this movie, it kind of seems like it doesn't make any sense. Scott,
it seems like it's going to be insane.
Confirmed John Bernthal, confirmed Mark Ruffalo as Hulk. And then there's reports of maybe what people thought was going to be Mr. Negative, which I would love to see Mr. Negative as a fucking live action villain. That'd be awesome. But instead, that maybe seems like it's going to be the Silver Samurai.
Sorry, what?
I mean, it's I don't know. Watch Nando V Movies video on it from the other day. He kind of broke it all down. And it's the Silver Samurai stuff is not based on anything official. It's just like kind of like alleged leaks and reports from somebody that worked on set or whatever. That's something, and then maybe Madam Hydra too. And it's like, what the fuck is this movie doing? You know what I mean?
God forbid we actually use a classic Spider-Man villain.
Right. I mean, you could do any one of those in a Spider-Man story, sure. And it'd probably be, he's definitely dealt with all of these characters at one point.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But all of them at once just seems like a clusterfuck of now it could be that some of that is just like, intentional misinformation to keep people off the scent of the plot. But who knows? Who fucking knows?
Heck, it could be a thing like the video game where like Mr. Negative's the major villain until he's very suddenly not, which worked out really well, honestly, for that story. Huh?
Well, one bit of news, I don't know if you guys saw this, but the Vision Quest series, Todd Stashwick's been cast.
Yes, I did see that.
What is it now?
Todd Stashwick, he was in the captain in the third series of Picard.
Oh, okay.
Which was also Terry Metalis, who's doing Vision Quest.
Okay.
Cast as a villain. I mean, he's.
Which I know the Chuds love Terry Metalis and everybody praised him for Picard season 3, but Picard overall as a series is.
It's a misfire.
Oh,
There's
potential. There's ideas.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like honestly. The season 1 stuff was mainly the just a lot of the plot details that were kind of lame. And then season
directly
2,
ripped off from Mass Effect.
Yes.
The broad story of season 2, I think, was an interesting idea.
It just changed the focus every couple of episodes. It was like every couple of episodes, what the fuck is the story right now?
I mean, the focus of that season, because my daughter has become simply Brent Spiner running over Patrick Stewart with his car, just because that scene was just so out of nowhere and hilarious. Just like, this is what we're doing, sure. I feel like that scene well represents Picard season 2, because it's like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah.
Well, I think didn't Terry Metalis only come on for the third season, so he sort of got it on a track that sort of made sense. Although,
where did his dog go? No shit.
Yeah, fucking Porthos. Archer's a much worse captain, but Porthos got way more screen time than Picard's dog, which I don't remember the name. Number 1. It was number 1.
Archer's a terrible captain.
Dude, Archer, fuck.
I mean, basically,
he gets better. He gets better, but he is so outrageously racist towards Vulcans in the first couple seasons that is frustrating. Where it's like
you can kind of look at Archer as like because it wasn't it wasn't Starfleet yet, right? So like you can kind of look at it as he's the guy where they're like, okay, now we know what not to do whenever we with our captains. So we're gonna hold this guy up as the champion of don't be like that.
Oh God! Like there's actually episodes in the first couple seasons where I think Archer is based, but then like probably twice as many episodes where he just has this moment where I just want to punch him in the face because he's just so frustrating. There's even a moment. Yeah.
By the time the Borg plot kicks in, it's kind of already over. That's kind of the problem with it, right? Like it's like, oh, Borg, and it's over.
Okay. And you know what? Part of me does like, as much as I want to forgive them for using the Borg in season 3, because I get wrapping up with the Borg. The issue is they had already abused the Borg in the first 2 seasons to the point where it's like I feel like they shouldn't have touched it. You kind of ruined it. I thought using the Changelings as the villain was brilliant. I thought that was a great idea. I wish they'd kind of done more follow through with that.
And she could have been, being, controlled by some other force or something like that. That's not a big deal if they did it right. But they're just being the Borg. I don't know. It's just constantly trying to recapture, best of both worlds and First Contact all over again, and it never has done that.
I mean, part of the brilliance of TNG is like they had that huge hit with Best of Both Worlds. And so they start what they do is they start doing season cliffhangers. Except what do they do the next season? They do a big Klingon Worf cliffhanger. And the next season, it's almost like a comedy time travel thing. And then they do a bit Borg in the season after that. But like the first 2, it's like they got the right idea. We'll do these fun cliffhangers, but like we'll have good ideas around them. We aren't just going to rehash the Borg all the time.
But then I think that's something, again, they fell back on with the films, with Generations not doing very well. What do we do next? Borg? And that's when they started to use it as a crutch. because it wasn't in the series.
There was a very serious conversation about First Contact being their last entry, and I think that honestly, looking at how they've been used since then, as much as I think Scorpion was all right, I would have been happier if they just ended the Borg with First Contact. You know, we get a big budget outing with the Borg and wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Janeway had them, glommed onto her because they felt like they needed to have her have a nemesis, but they just kind of rehashed,
Yeah, it was they rehashed stuff because the Kazon were terrible nemesis. Hirogen were okay, but not very deep. Let's face it, when it comes to coming up with cool nemesis, I don't think any of them compete with Deep Space Nine, but. Yeah, Voyager really suffered.
Fucking Ferengi, you got fucking Cardassians, and then you got Borg,
Dominion, Gul Dukat, shit, Kai Wynn. Oh god damn, these are people who the actors gave great performances, but you also just love to hate them. You hate them with a fiery passion. It was really well done, really.
And I think this is the problem with sort of a series like Star Trek, where when they have the Klingons as enemies, it makes sense for them to be recurring enemies because they're basically the same as us, and it's politics is the reason that they're not constantly fighting us, and we can't just sort of basically genocide them. And then you introduce the Borg, who aren't that. They can't be reasoned with. They are a force, and so the only option is to wipe them out. But you can't wipe them out, because if you wipe them out, you can't bring them back. And when you do wipe them out, you have to bring them back in a way that is ridiculous.
Well, and you also have to address the morality of the wiping them out too. Being, it's like that's why they were perfect at first. They were just absolutely a perfect nemesis because they're the inverse of Starfleet and what humanity's collectivism was about. And it's like the warped version, I don't want to say mirror version, but the warped version of it. And then it's brilliant in that regard. But then just because good ratings and and then I guess running out of ideas in future spinoffs, you just keep going back to that well.
And I mean that's the same problem that Doctor Who's having. Having been on air for 60 years now, is that I'm so glad in the last couple of series they didn't bring back the Daleks, but then they went deeper into the well and did enemies that nobody had ever heard of, and didn't bother flashing them out. And so you can understand why the Doctors wiped out the Daleks completely off the entire face of the universe several dozen times now, and why and why all the other Time Lords have died and been brought back, and then died again and been brought back again. It's like that's the trouble. Yeah, it's when you're struggling, when in doubt, bring back a classic enemy, because that's the interesting thing that I think everybody assumes in the Sherlock Holmes series that Moriarty is this sort of big villain throughout the books, but he's not. He
has one book, doesn't he?
He appears in 2 stories, which is the final story of Sherlock Holmes and the one where he comes back from the dead. He's sort of featured in flashbacks, and then mentioned in one other. So he's only actually a character in that one story, really, properly. And yet you wouldn't think so if you looked at any of the adaptations that have come since. I mean, God, they couldn't bloody get rid of him in the Benedict Cumberbatch series.
Yeah. Of course, I'll admit I still haven't seen the final season of that. But
of what?
Yeah,
the Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock.
Oh yeah, I mean I watched it and it did not make me happy.
I really liked the Toby Jones episode. I thought that was a really good adaptation at the time.
I just found a channel, by the way. This is random, but I was kind of looking around for stuff, and I just found a channel called The Shills. The Shills. I think we have to sue.
Off.
They're currently streaming right now. I think we should fight them.
Are they genuine or are they ironic?
I don't know. I mean, I think they're probably ironic. They're doing a lot of Trump coverage. It looks like, as in like not favorable. I don't believe of Trump.
Okay.
So I don't know. I guess we got to fight them in a duel to the death. Who knows?
Obviously, that's the only way to address anything.
There can be only one.
Yes.
The man once said. Anyways,
talking about comedy as we were as well, I just wanted to mention. I know Bob's seen it because I saw him watch it, but the new Spinal Tap trailer. Have you seen that?
Oh
thing?
yeah. I mean, I've honestly never seen Spinal Tap. So I know I played in bands and I never even saw the movie.
Get out of your own stream and your own podcast.
Can I leave the stream right now and go watch? I have Alien and Aliens to watch before the 17th, so I got to do those first.
Now I know you've seen those before. I know you've seen those before.
Yes, but I have to do content about it, and I want to have fresh observations. So
no, that's fair enough. I was just checking that I wasn't making a mistake and thinking you hadn't seen Alien and Aliens. But
oh God, no! Just because I haven't seen Spinal Tap doesn't mean I haven't seen. I'm not like, whoa, Star Wars.
It's a possibility.
I mean, not only is Spinal Tap awesome, but one of the cool things about it is on the and I actually miss commentary tracks, but there's a commentary track on the Spinal Tap disc that is the three guys doing it in character.
Oh God!
And just talking about their opinions on it. It is hilarious. I mean,
I would say it is equally as good as the film. And once you've watched the film,
I don't know if I go quite that far, but it's really funny. It's really funny.
The thing that strikes me is every time I put the film into watch, it's always about 50-50 whether I watch the commentary or the film itself. But because this is something I didn't know if you'd seen, Bob, and obviously you couldn't watch it on stream, but they've released a full-length video of them doing Stonehenge from that.
Yeah,
film.
I've seen that with Elton John.
So are you guys worried at all about the sequel being, kind of limp or not living up to it, or what do you think?
No,
the guys involved, I think, are going to be hilarious. I mean, none of those guys have lost touch.
Those three guys have worked together. It's not like they're all coming back to this. They've worked together in various different projects for the last
a couple of movies that seem like Best in Show and stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they all know what they're doing and they all work. I'm a bit nervous about anybody new coming in because that's always a risk if you don't get it.
Yeah.
But it's just they know what they're doing. Because A Mighty Wind I thought was brilliant. Their take on the folk music scene.
Yeah.
And
A mighty wind is blowing. It's a blowing you and me.
The fact that they have supported themselves as Spinal Tap as their folk group as well.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll come on as a folk group, and because most of the audience for Spinal Tap don't quite know that they're not a real band, so all the metalheads there see this folk act doing several songs, and then see Spinal Tap comes on. I just think that's brilliant. It's so clever, and I've got no fears. Because this isn't a cheap cash-in. It's going to be interesting because that music scene completely died. So it'll be interesting to see how they take from what was like them being a shit band when there were hundreds of bands just like them to them being still around now. Because it's going to be fun, I think. Though I love the joke in the trailer about tap water.
Yeah, just some of this. I was just gonna say some of the songs in there are just hilarious. Like, oh my God.
I would disagree on this. I do think that it's funny, and that is funny. But if you have not seen or heard any of Schwarzenegger's Total Recall commentary, holy fucking shit!
I actually haven't heard that one.
It's it is let's see.
I miss commentary tracks, man.
Well, I was surprised because a lot of the Marvel films they used to do commentary tracks for. I haven't checked to see if they've done any for the recent films.
I haven't bought any physical media in a while, and I love physical media.
Well, some of them are on Disney Plus, the commentaries.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
No,
if you look at the extras, the commentaries that came from the discs. So yeah, but yeah, some of the commentaries were great. Some were awful. I don't know if you ever listened to the Predator commentary.
Is that the funnier one, or is it Total Recall that's the funnier one?
No, Predator's not. Predator is John McTiernan, and everything he's saying is really interesting, but he's got a really, really dull voice, and it is really hard to stay listening. But yeah,
that's not Arnold's problem.
No, Arnold's not in that.
Hold on, watch this.
But
check this out.
Sorry. Well, real quick, while we're on commentary tracks, real quick, I want to say, usually I found the best combination for commentary tracks is you want somebody behind the scenes, preferably be the director, and then an actor, someone whose job is to be like kind of theatrical and entertaining.
I recall
you want that mix. You want
the most entertaining one I remember is Fight Club, because the one that has the director, that I think maybe even Chuck Palahniuk on it, but then it's also got Ed Norton and Brad Pitt, because they're both being entertaining and like giving lots of context about the filmmaking and the story and the adaptation, and just like it's fucking very, very good.
And they used to get really creative with them as well, like Anchorman and Dodgeball. Anchorman, they did a track fully in character, I think, as well.
Yeah, the in character ones were always a treat.
I think I can't remember which one it was, but I'll let this play first.
Yeah, check this.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, and this is me on the screen here, riding towards the camera. It was a great scene because she's trying so hard for me not to see the news. You can see here with the eye, no matter what I do, the kissing, the hugging with her, I'm more interested in what's going on Mars. Here, this is my job. I'm a construction worker, and I'm totally amazed.
And he's looking at something.
I'm looking at the gun.
Yeah, so this is really this.
Fucking he's doing it with what's his name?
How did I do that? Here's the great fight scene with Sharon and me. Ow, that hurt.
Ow.
I continuously used him as a human shield. Then I threw him down the escalator, and now he just got the message that he should actually put a wet towel around his head.
Which is also like crazy.
Exactly, yeah. So that they
still don't know.
So they cannot detect of where I am. I run around like an Indian. That's a funny scene. She's trying to steal the suitcase. Now they have problems following it. This scene is unbelievable because my frustration about this taxi cab does not understand where I want to go. Again, I got away. Now he realizes that there's a hologram of him. And now he's telling him that he has to take that bug out of his nose, which is this gross scene. Remember, everyone was grossed out. Me putting this thing up my nose. There was the bug that was inside my nose. And that's why they always could find me. Now here they're following, obviously, I put ice that was in my nose.
Yes.
The chocolate. Maybe the rat is now running around with that device.
This sounds like he's doing an audio description for the blind.
I know. I mean, but that's not what he's doing. He's just, I don't think he got what the point is. Maybe, because, I mean, I guess it's understandable. It's kind of a new thing, I suppose.
It feels like he's almost narrating the movie and kind
of. He's just saying, literally telling you what is happening.
This is a wonderful scene where I come up to Mars as an old lady.
Oh.
As a fat old lady. Him, though. I'm actually hiding underneath the thing, which is the amazing thing, which we find out later on.
Go ahead.
No, you're not Arnold. That
wasn't him in a costume?
That uncontrollable distortion of the face and everything, and that's what busts me actually right now, because the face does not stop and it says the wrong things all the time. What a surprise, to come up.
Like Arnold is not a stupid man by any means.
No.
But there's a disconnect there, it seems like, with him. And I mean, I guess after life of being super famous, that's to be understandable. But I don't know, man. Like, maybe he's on the spectrum.
I think that, like Bob said, in the early days, people didn't know what commentaries were, and he'd probably been told, "Well, this is an audio commentary where you talk about the film. That as long as you don't get lost in watching the film, so try and keep talking." And he took that literally. So I think it's just perhaps a language barrier issue, because the Terminator 2 commentary, by contrast, is incredible. But that's not a real commentary. Apparently that was all clipped together.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you
probably
can't tell.
Because he was doing something like this, and they were like, "We can't fucking release this shit." Like,
but you really can't tell because it's so well crafted.
I mean, I get, like, I can kind of understand. Maybe he felt compelled to continue talking about literally what's on the screen at the moment, because that's something that happens where, like, you kind of have to make a judgment call. I feel like, as if you're doing a commentary of, like, if you're describing how filming this certain thing was, and then it's moved on to the next scene, you know, you kind of either have to move on with the next scene or continue talking about the thing you're talking about. And I guess he just went with, I got to stay on whatever's happening right now. I'll just comment on that. But it's, you know, describing it isn't really commentary. I want to know, how did he feel about doing any of this? You know what I mean? Like, does this seem crazy to you whenever they brought this up?
Yeah,
Is this, you know, what's it like holding up a guy when he gets shot full of a bunch of holes and all the blood squibs and stuff?
How they make the mask, how they do the effect of it splitting apart, stuff like that, you know.
Well, I think what all this tells us about Arnold is that he's an instinct actor, so he didn't think about this at all. He just went with it, and he was there. He was there on Mars.
I mean, his instincts, except for, you know, that one thing, you know, served him pretty well. So, talking about the you know, the extramarital child, I suppose.
There's been plenty of things I've disagreed with Arnold on.
Yeah, sure.
Those
couple of videos he's released,
not Trump.
those videos released in the last couple of years have been pretty solid. I think he's had good, you know, good things to say. Maybe a little bit too late in some regards, talking about the Nazis and stuff like that. But yeah.
But yeah, I do think it's really doing a disservice too. I think it's doing a disservice to people who want to get into film as well by not doing the commentaries. Because you had the funny ones, like I said, I think the dodgeball one, they go for 45 minutes before they have an argument, and then they just storm off, and it's just silence. And I think there was another film, and then they would record a serious one as well, where they actually talked about the making of the film.
Well, I mean,
there was another film where at some point, a similar thing happens where one of the people doing the commentary storms out. So they put the commentary for a different film on.
Like I know that you know, you can like the movies that I purchased and then even stuff on streaming and stuff, you can the commentary's still there in some cases. You can find these extra stuff, but I don't know, it's for some reason I don't seek it out like I did. Like that used to be half the reason I would buy a DVD. You know what I mean? Just because I wanted to get into that shit. Like, I mean, stuff like the Lord of the Rings expanded edition, you know, all the extra features on that. Holy shit, I spent like a month just like, I would wake up in the morning some days and just like start watching that shit.
Yeah.
That was my day.
Some amazing special features back in the days of Blu-ray, or not even Blu-ray, DVD. Yeah.
Well, there was one on the Die Hard DVD where you could re-edit certain scenes yourself and have a go at editing.
Wow.
Which, yeah, crazy.
That's cool. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right that it does remove a bit of the interactivity with the product, and it just makes you more of a consumer than like a fan kind of thing, I guess. But I mean, you can always go on YouTube and watch videos about stuff, I suppose. You know, Lord knows I love watching me some videos about fake Arnold heads.
Yeah, but then you get stuck listening to people who don't know how to make movies telling you how to make movies.
Yeah, you get stuck on these 5-hour videos where somebody's telling you why a movie's objectively bad that you actually enjoyed, and a lot of people enjoy. It doesn't make any sense to call it objectively bad, and who the fuck are you anyway? But anyway, by the way, Bob, how's the response been to your Mahler video?
Very, very, very reasonable and thoughtful. No, it's been fucking dumb, but yeah, you know, it's got a few thousand views right now. Go check it out, and also check out the Star Trek video. Like I said, you know,
I didn't know that you changed the thumbnail. That's pretty funny.
Oh no, well, I did the test thumbnail, so I made 3 thumbnails for it, and that was the one that performed the best. And after,
well, yeah, obviously,
after having some distance away from it, I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that is the best one.
It's very simple and effective. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah. Also to kind of promote my stream tomorrow, I will be debating somebody on the contents of this video, so that should be fun.
Mahler fan, this is going to be real pedantic.
It will be, but yeah, we'll
get extra granular on this motherfucker. Let's do it.
Yes. We will break it down, and all the things I'm sure that will be brought up that I said that I actually didn't say.
And then the time that you fucking, you know, we're looking for him to be a bigot in the Doctor Strange review, which
true.
It's your original sin.
Truly, the worst thing a person can do on YouTube.
Have anyone covered Naked Gun? Any of the chuds?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
I don't think they kind of ignored that one.
Yeah, I mean, because how do you turn that to your advantage, right? It's
well, yeah. I mean, you're right mostly, but Mauler, because of his objective way of criticizing any film, surely he could be able to tell you why Naked Gun doesn't work because something doesn't make sense in it.
I mean, I haven't seen it, but I've heard plenty of people say that it does, honor the original pretty well, and it's hopefully a return to that kind of comedy.
It's totally decent. It's not remotely as good as the original, but I rank it between the second and the third Naked Gun.
I mean, honestly, the fact that a movie like that could even come out again after what those guys that fucking ran the genre into the ground in the 2000s, I kind of just expected it would be dead forever after that, but yeah.
Well, I did read a review, and I thought it made a very good point about how this movie, how it worked. It really limits its pop culture references. They are there, but they're largely really fucking dated. Like, there's a scene where he's complaining about Buffy being deleted from his TiVo and stuff.
Right. So, I was listening to a podcast about it, and they made a good point about why these movies, like the ones that they made shitloads of crappy ones, and then they ran it into the ground in the 2000s, why those didn't work for a lot of reasons as opposed to others. So, when I'm watching Airplane, especially when I was younger, and they're making the whole thing is a reference to another movie. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
Right. But it didn't matter. And so and then whenever they reference things that were kind of current events or whatever at the time or something like that, I didn't notice it, and it didn't that wasn't why I thought it was funny. You know what I mean? So it's, and then those shitty, cranked out crappy, goofy comedies in the 2000s, those did very in the moment references constantly.
Yes, a lot.
And it seems like that's just not the way to go, because
I'm not saying the Naked Gun movies and those didn't do that, but they were very few and far between.
Right. So yeah,
I think they were most of their jokes were about sort of the the stupid things that happen in the genre of those types of films.
I would argue most of the jokes are just any stupid thing they could think of.
Well, yeah.
But I mean, having Charlie Sheen and talking about tiger blood and shit like that in one of the scary movies, it's come the fuck. Who's gonna think
even the first Scary Movie, I can remember going to see that. I went to see that in the cinema, and right before it was the first showing of the Budweiser advert that they then reference in that film. And if that advert hadn't played before the film, nobody in that audience would have understood what the joke was, what they were referencing. But to be fair to that first film, at least they were also making fun of the horror genre.
Mm-hmm.
The trouble is,
I feel of those
that's
the one that aged the best.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because as they got further along, as they made more of them, like the superhero movie one that they did came out in 2004, 2005. So before superhero movies really had established cliches.
Yeah. And then they did Meet the Spartans, that's but of course that would just be full of random references to other movies as well. They're just not even, it didn't make any sense. It just seemed like lowest common denominator, low hanging fruit crap. I'm hoping Spaceballs 2 is good. I have seen Spaceballs. I've seen Spaceballs.
we still got a while if that one comes out. They're just now getting some cast announced, but and I don't know who will direct because I doubt Mel will direct. He's almost a himself. I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
a little bit too old.
I'd love to have him involved in some way, but I don't know. What.
Well, yeah, I mean,
maybe give him a cameo as the president or something.
Well, maybe if sort of jokes they're going for, maybe they're going to do a version of Yogurt that he could voice. Maybe they can make it all CGI.
And maybe they can even make it like a shitty puppet.
But do a puppet.
I mean, the obvious one would be a baby Yogurt.
Oh God, yes. That's honestly, that's probably what they'll do. It seems like that's just the most obvious thing to do.
But again, what I find funny about the Spaceballs film is not so much the Star Wars stuff; it's all the other jokes. The ones that make me laugh is what's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken? That's a good joke.
We've gone plaid. All the shit that's just
I'm surrounded by assholes. or Lieutenant.
That was then.
We ain't found shit.
Yeah, I mean, then stuff that's kind of criticizing the consumerism, like the whole Spaceballs merchandise gags and shit.
Yes.
Right?
Although the aliens joke is really good, and I'm so glad it's really worked as well.
Yeah, I remember I saw that before I saw Alien, and I didn't know what it was about really, but I thought
I think
it was
I
funny
did too, but I kind of understood the reference because it was so much in the zeitgeist at that point. But yeah, I hadn't
Go in
seen
the
Alien
desert,
yet.
and then you got
Yes.
the guy with a pick.
It's weird that scene for younger audiences that who wouldn't have seen Alien, they might be more familiar with the parody of the Warner Brothers and Bitch and J Frog song and dance.
Hello, yeah.
And Pizza the Hat is a decent enough joke that you don't really have to.
It's simple, it's dumb, but it is fucking funny. Yeah. Too bad we won't have any barf.
Yeah. Well, apparently Joss Gad, I think, isn't it? Wasn't he announced?
I think I think so.
Yeah, so
you're right.
I'm imagining we'll probably get Puke or something like that. Who knows?
Puke. Yeah. Wasn't the actor in the Alien scene the same? Was it what's his name?
Yes.
Yeah, it was
yes,
John
it
Hurt,
was.
yeah.
Yes.
Cool.
But obviously Joan Rivers is no longer with us, so she's not going to be back either. I mean, she had less of a role to play, but I don't know if Daphne Zuniga is coming back for it though.
Did she come back for anything? I've never seen her in anything else. I don't think.
Well, she did. She started doing a lot of TV.
I've seen her in a couple other things.
Yeah, she did stuff like something like One Tree Hill or one of those type shows.
Nobody knows. All right, I gotta get the hell out of here. It's been fun.
Oh wait, I just found something I want to go over. So if you want to leave, go ahead. But I want mine. Going
No. What do you got? What do you got?
So I just got. This is on Mahler's subreddit. I just found this a commentary about my latest video. Bob made an hour-long video on Mahler and EFAP, and wow, it is deranged.
Skimmed through.
Not gonna lie, I knew I'd get this reaction, so I knew that. I skimmed through out of morbid curiosity. So this guy knows the full context of the video, knows my arguments. He skimmed through. God, that almost sounds as evil as somebody judging something by looking for a scene in a Doctor Strange video.
Yeah, like, is he admitting to skimming through, looking for you to be doing something? That's bad faith. That's very bad faith.
It's like a bingo card of every anti-EFAP argument, sans the Jenny Nicholson stuff. Long, mad, bad, completely missing that argument, by the way. How dare you have standards when watching a movie? Not my argument. Objective criticism isn't real. True.
Even though, but he's basically abandoned the objective criticism stuff. So has he or hasn't he?
No, he hasn't. He just doesn't call it that anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
He still thinks it's stupid to fucking call it that. Yes.
He probably needs to explain it to his audience because they still argue like he does. They send hate to smaller channels.
That's true.
True, but I don't recall. I don't recall really. I guess I kind of do, but like it's kind of part of my grander point. Not really complaining about that. Rags guilt by association. Not really guilt by association.
Nope.
Just pointing out that he has
Guilt
Rags
by-
on his channel. On his
What else? Yeah, literally just lets Rags constantly say it's by his
Rags is a
platforming, and then
co-host. That's not really
and then also
association. That's just part of
laughing
it.
like a
And-
fucking shithead at the bigoted shit Rags says. It's not association. It's just he's just part of it. He's just too much of a bitch to say it himself.
Well, they never really understood what guilt by association was. Guilt by association would be if you're friends with somebody and then you find out something horrible that they've done, you are not responsible for them doing that horrible thing.
Right.
If you continue to be their friend,
yeah.
If you continue to be their friend and to continue to support them after you found out about
You're at least worthy of some skepticism, some side eye.
Yeah.
Like some scrutiny. Like, but it's like Trump was friends with Jeffrey Epstein for like 10 years. They were best friends, like really, really good friends, right? That's not in and of itself proof that Trump is some kind of pedo or something. It's all of the other stuff that we found out since then, in the last that shows that Trump is a pedo. Sorry, I had to bring it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the funny part here is what's funny is when you look at the comments, even EFAP haters. Okay, so looking at the comments of your video, like I did earlier, and then any other time that EFAP is mentioned, there's going to be at least three dudes who are like, I'm not even a fan of theirs.
Yeah,
but
I get that a lot.
And it's like, oh, they definitely are. They definitely fucking are.
No, dude.
Several times whenever I clicked onto their goddamn channel, whenever they say, I'm not a fan of whoever, and they are subscribed to that person.
Well, no, like the people say that, and then they go throughout the comments and constantly defend them. It's like, you're not a fan, but you're spending all this time in my comments defending them. Such bullshit.
Yep. It's just such an obvious, like, oh, I don't want them to think I'm biased because I am, and my arguments aren't strong enough. I don't know.
He says verbatim that Mahler and H-Man have a similar way in how they view art. Well, H-Man, as you call him, did view that there was such a thing as deviant art, and that's why they burned books and shit like that. There was certain art that he did not like and thought was worth destroying.
He claims here that Mahler has standards and won't consume generic Marvel slop. Mahler consumes every Marvel thing that comes out.
Yeah, good point.
And
he
likes
actually does
as
consume Marvel slop. Yeah.
He likes the Spider-Man films, as far as I know.
He literally consumes it.
Didn't he? Yeah, he argued. I remember going on JXC's stream and kind of offering a counter argument a bit, but apparently, one of their big arguments that Far From Home is better than Winter Soldier, which is honestly, I'm not gonna lie, kind of insane. Like, you're allowed to have your own opinion, but really, I enjoy Far From Home, but really,
wait, what? He like cuties? But I mean, yeah, the first part is bizarre. Yeah, his arc is that well, I guess he realized he doesn't want to kiss his mom. I don't know.
Not every character needs an arc in a movie. It's not.
I would argue that Marty's not the protagonist of that film. The protagonist is his mother and father.
True.
I was about ready to say his dad's more. His dad definitely has an arc
which
in the movie,
which supports the point of Crispin Glover's criticism of the ending. The reason he didn't like the ending, which is valid, is that it puts too much emphasis on them being successful in financial terms, like they're wealthy, so they're happy, and he thinks that kind of
Funnily enough, though, that is something that Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis were aware of making the film, because they address it in the commentary. They say that they couldn't think of any other way of showing the audience of the change of lifestyle that improved from Marty's interference, other than, and they were disappointed with it, but it was the best that they could come up with.
In the defense of the ending, it's the same house, right?
Yes.
It's not like they're suddenly in a big mansion or some shit. It's just they're doing a little bit better generally, right?
The house is in better shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, out of curiosity, what comments do we have here? It says something that I was expecting. Oh, well, okay. Wishing, okay. Diabito is a much, okay. I think it's really interesting. They're calling Movie Bob Diabito.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's something probably Rag said.
Oh, he wants to eradicate 80% of the population. That's cool. That's not even true.
80%? What the fuck? Well,
you got a compliment there. It said Movie Rob isn't smart enough to make this type of video. So,
hey, there you go.
You're smarter than Movie Bob.
Yay? I don't know about that, but hey.
Well, he never got back to us about coming on the show, so
that's true. So
I'm fine with you being smarter than him.
Oh yeah, they get really offended because I put their picture. Like, yeah, this is one of the thumbnails where I put their picture in there. And I'll be honest, I know it pisses them off, and it's like they act like it's toxic. And guys, it's a fucking Google image search. That's all I did get those pictures.
It just shows how fucking sensitive how they are, and how they literally in many cases can't even refute the criticisms that people have, because
I mean
that's what they zero in on, and that's why I've done it over and over again. I
find them insulting my appearance plenty of times, but like
I mean, I go further and I just say their names are Callum and Lawrence, because all that's out there too.
I mean, dude, like Callum is writing a book, a story for Eric July.
I like to think that I caused that. I like to think that I just made them go, you know what? Fuck it. I might as well just use my real name.
Well, here's the thing, though. If their audience is adamant that they don't bully people, they don't attack people, they're not political, why wouldn't their faces and names being out there? Why would that be an issue anyway?
Well, because they know they're hideous fucking chuds, maybe. I don't know.
I can understand if you're a political commentator, perhaps not wanting your name and your face out there, because somebody with opposing political views might be crazy. But all these guys are is goofy guys making fun of films on the internet. So.
No, who would mistake them for political besides dumb Bob over here? No, it's I mean, with Mueller, I think it's pretty clear to see that his actual appearance destroys his fucking mystique because he just looks like a dumb kid, because that's kind of what he is. Even if he might be in his 30s for all I know, but he's still just a dumb kid to me. He
comes off like a dumb kid who he is. I already brought it up earlier, but like these guys are so Dunning-Kruger. Like they act like they know everything there is about movies, and they know so fucking little. Their objective critiques are so poorly.
It's not even just that; it's that they don't know anything about life experience. Like they don't have life experience in a lot of ways. You can tell whenever they're like, "Oh, somebody wouldn't do this" or whatever. It's like, yeah, they would. You're acting like everybody in a movie should be like a perfect robot or something like that. I
remember seeing them critique a courtroom scene where a person's under oath and he tells a joke under oath. And they're like, oh, well, that person would be.
He says something about cheating on his taxes as a joke, and the judge laughs, and everybody laughs, and they move on, and they're like, no, the judge would have, or had him arrested there for, admitting to cheating on his taxes or whatever. It's like.
It was a blatant joke. I think, like, as a job, he says, they ask what his job is on his tax, and he says he sells seashells by the seashore. And it's like, it's an obvious fucking joke. You can tell jokes under oath. The worst they might do is say, you gotta be serious. That's the worst they might do.
You feel out the vibe of the judge, basically, and if it's not somebody that's taking everything super seriously, then you maybe get away with a little charming little joke there to kind of win some favor.
Their only experience of seeing the inside of a courtroom will be on film and television. Because if they watch real court cases play out, and there are many on YouTube, you can find them, the judges, it's treated, the court case itself, unless it's a serious case, is treated with the sort of levity that it deserves. And as long as you're not doing something against the rules of the court, the judge has a joke with the defense attorney or the prosecution attorney. They will have jokes amongst themselves. But I mean, they're super serious. The law aspect of it. That's
if it was Critical Drinker that was criticizing a courtroom scene, I might be a little more like, okay, maybe he knows from the time that he was in there, from that time that he got charged with punching a small child. But and he knows how charges go. He knows what it's like to be charged with a crime. He knows what it's like to be seen in front of a judge and arraigned or whatever they call it over there. And then also, have those charges dismissed, maybe because he's got a little bit of push and he had his people kind of, I don't know, who knows.
Legal Eagle is a pretty good source in my opinion.
He's good.
Yeah, but he also, when he does his debunks, he says that he knows it's for entertainment because there's not a single courtroom scene that you've seen in fiction that is accurate. You can't do things like move about the court. Most courts, you have to stand behind a desk when you're speaking to the judge, unless the judge asks you to approach.
It's
you
much
can't
more
go walking around.
Or you ask permission or something, yeah.
Yeah, you can't talk directly to the jury.
I mean, look, they probably watched Law and Order UK, which I know exists because Jamie Bamber from Battlestar Galactica is on it.
What's funny about that is one of our sort of well-known comedians is also like the main guy in it, so it would be a bit like I don't know, I'm trying to think of that. Like it would be a bit like someone like Pat Sajak being the lead of Law and Order in the US.
Oh, weird.
Oh, really?
Yeah. How do they?
That's impossible.
That reminds me of like magnets. How do they work? Fucking ICP. Remember that? Anybody?
Yes, I do.
Hey, that's funny. It's funny that you've triggered them. I love it. I have not finished your video yet. I need to get on that. Got about maybe halfway through. Why'd you make it so long? So long. Just God. So
Well,
long.
I think what kills it, but I kind of had to, is I have lots of unedited clips of EFAP just to make a point, and it is a bear to sit through because I've sat through it multiple times. But
no, it
does make the point where it's like, oh my God, they just keep going and they're so stupid. Oh my.
Yeah, I mean, getting them to expose their knowledge on anything that they clearly have no knowledge on. They're like, well, that couldn't happen. That car's got 4 wheels. That cars don't have 4 wheels. That's the sort of level. If they don't understand it, they assume that it can't be true, which is just.
Which honestly is kind of like a just conservative mentality in general. You know, it's like whether it's evolution, climate change, trans people. You know what I mean? It's like I don't understand that, so I reject its existence, and I think it's just some crazy, thing that isn't real.
But
yeah,
the thing that I'm wondering about is, are people expecting too much realism from films these days?
That is definitely something that does pop up occasionally.
Yeah.
Although lots of times when they criticize it, they're actually not being realistic.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thinking of Critical Drinker's Superman review where he says it is completely unbelievable that Lex Luthor was able to create a pocket universe. And I'm like,
it's fucking like
there's a lot of other stuff in this film.
So you're saying that the human being, the man from another planet who can just defy the very fucking basics of physics and gravity and fly around at top speed and shit like that, that didn't register
that's
with
reasonable.
you.
Yeah, that's realistic.
But crazy, man, crazy.
Yeah, the guy who can make stuff out of green something or other just by thinking about it. No, that's fine. But come on, a pocket universe.
Well, I mean, the clip I grabbed, which is I didn't go through a huge amount, but I went through a bit of that. There was so much I kind of pulled from that Superman review. But the bit I remember was them complaining because Metamorpho, Superman's still weak from the kryptonite. Minor spoilers. Superman's still weak from the kryptonite poisoning, and Metamorpho was like, I can't make a sun, but I'm going to attempt to make something like a sun. And then they criticize him for making a sun. It's like, no. He made something like a sun, because if you actually pay attention for the rest of that scene, like, yes, Superman's not as bad off as he was just a few moments earlier, but he is not at full power remotely.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's you have to be completely unwilling to engage with the film on its terms that it's presenting to you in order to have those takes from it, like. Just say that they're just unbelievable. Like they give you enough of an explanation for the pocket dimension and the sun for you to, you just have to be willfully trying to reject the concepts that it's doing, and that just means you don't want to have fun. You don't want to watch a fantasy movie. You don't want to watch a superhero or whatever. Fine, just don't watch them. Accept that about yourself. And just say, hey, look, I'm done watching this shit. I don't like it anymore. I don't like the fact that the characters can do some crazy thing in the middle of. Even though it gives me, enough of an internal logic explanation, and they act like internal logic of the movie is everything, the pinnacle, and it's just so the things they fixate on are things that most people don't think about in the first place.
Whenever you're watching a film or a TV show, you have to accept the fact that you are entering into their world. It's not an accurate representation of our world, one for one, even if it sort of tries to be as much as possible. Like if it's a biopic or a historical drama, those things didn't happen in that way. So that is fictional. It's a fictional version of real events, even real stuff. So, I can't think of a single film that is 100% realistic.
Yeah, even films based on true stories. There's usually a little some cases going on. Yeah.
I mean, and Braveheart, come on.
Yeah. Well, another thing I was just thinking about. So this is the EFAP fan in the thumbnail. So this is obviously during the thumbnail test because it settled on the thumbnail test settled on the one that it is now. So one that doesn't show their faces. This is the one thumbnail I did that does show their faces. And I think it's interesting that they were getting this one because I got lots of complaints about using their faces. And it's like, you realize the reason why it's giving you this thumbnail is because the algorithm is recognizing that you're clicking on videos with their faces on it.
Mm-hmm.
I just find that funny.
We need more people doing shit like this.
Is fiscal, with 450 million FEMA dollars being reallocated to open Alligator Alcatraz and 600 million taxpayer FEMA dollars being used to now open more concentration camps, and ICE burning through $8.4 million a day to illegally detain people. How much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
You know, we need more of that.
It's a good
that
question.
energy.
It's a good question.
Some of that, some of this.
Thank you for being here, Congressman Flood, but I do have a question. Outside, roughly 10 minutes before we were let in, you went up to me, I shook your hand, I looked you in the eyes, and you immediately pivoted to somebody else to talk to. Why are you unwilling to talk to someone in my age?
I'm not. I didn't mean to do that.
You immediately pivot, then your gentleman
I shook your
over
hand,
there
for God's
walked
sakes.
the
You were
photo
standing there with some
shoot
other
that saw
people.
me
Now you're
discuss.
here. What do you want to talk about?
I want to ask, why does it seem like when you make your voting decisions, they're based on capital rather than the working class? Billionaires and corporations got their tax issues enshrined into law forever, but the working class gets a no tax on tips or overtime that only applies to some of us, and now we wind up in a situation where we are.
I mean, base, true. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anybody seen Weapons yet?
No, I've heard good things.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
I've heard mostly, like, generally good things, but I've heard that it's not as great as Barbarian, which I guess I should have expected that.
Well,
Barbarian.
I've heard the opposite.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, slightly better.
I love
slightly
Barbarian.
better.
I thought Barbarian was fucking fantastic.
I think I'm interested in what puts me off a lot of modern horror is jump scares, which I know this film doesn't really have. And I got a bit fed up with the amount of CGI, which is weird because I have no problem with it anywhere else. But in a horror film,
Yeah,
I'd like
it
to
does
see
good.
me a good wet puppet.
Yeah, wet puppets. Yeah, we want the original thing, not the thing 2011. Have y'all seen Barbarian?
No, I've only heard good things.
Honestly, sincerely, if I was going to recommend any horror film of the last 5 years, it would be that one. It's unlike, it's not, there's the A24 stuff, which it can, be hit or miss, and is what people kind of call elevated horror, which I think is a stupid term. But this guy is singularly talented, and based on what I understand about this movie too, he did it again. Like, kind of the way he presents things is it's fucking great. You forget you're watching a horror movie sometimes in a good way, like you're just kind of involved in the characters, and that's something that horror movies really struggle to do a lot, to actually make you give a shit about characters. And then
that's what I've heard about this one as well. In the sort of the premise behind it is far more sci-fi than horror. Because the premise is that I mean, it's in the trailer. It's in the trailer. I'm talking about the initial inciting incident. Is that?
Well, I wouldn't say that it tells me enough to think sci-fi. That's why I was like, what? Because all the trailer is just that at 2:17 in the morning at night, like a bunch of kids that are all in the same class in this small town or whatever, they just get up out of their beds and run out of their house and disappear. And then, that's basically the setup. And then the rest of the movie is about trying to, the Josh Brolin plays a dad who's, a little bit overzealous and maybe not, and trying to figure out what the fuck happened. Silver Surfer is the teacher who, of course, she's this one common thing with all the students. So they're like, what the fuck? You know what happened to him? She doesn't know what happened to him, seemingly. And but
yeah, to me, that sounds like quite a sci-fi premise, sort of traditional, like the Children of the Damned, Village of the Damned sort of, where you've got something weird that happens, because there's nothing innately horror about the I guess the fact that they all leave at the same time, if they were being picked off one by one, I would say, oh, this sounds like a horror, but it sounded more like a sci-fi premise to me.
Well, I guess I could see it going either way. It could be sci-fi, or it could be some kind of like who knows, curse thing. Some demon calls them out in their sleep. To it's probably neither one of those. But based on Barbarian, it's not even really sci-fi, or I mean, I guess it's like heightened, kind of exaggerated reality kind of thing, but it's not really sci-fi or any kind of like fantasy or kind of Judeo-Christian kind of spiritual type of horror either. It's I mean, I recommend it. Fucking Barbarian's good. There is like a couple of jump scares in the sense that, there's a thing that happens that quickly and you're kind of like, oh shit, but it's not definitely doesn't rely on that. That's not, the only thing that it does. The vast majority of the horror comes from the kind of dread and the wonder what the fuck is going on. So
yeah, that's definitely more interesting because I think horror got into a bit of a slump of too much CGI blood and jump scares for me personally.
Yeah, and I mean they start cranking them out too because that's one of the only movies genres that's consistently been getting people in the theaters too.
Yeah, and they really seem to be pushing for more and more horror at the moment. They're really oversaturating the market, which is a problem when you've got these good people coming through, like this Zach, I can't pronounce his last name. Krager.
Yeah.
And people like that, the guy helping Stuckman out.
Flanagan.
All their names. Flanagan, Mike Flanagan.
Who's awesome.
While these really good horror directors are coming through with a sort of singular vision and something to say, there's a lot of slop out there from people making more and more Conjuring films and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is, I guess not the problem, but I mean, the issue there is capitalism, of course, because horror movies are cheaper to produce than anything else, really. And when you can make a fucking big turnaround off of that, then of course they're gonna keep doing them.
I mean, one of the most successful films of all time, as brought up by Anthony Cremuglia, the original Halloween, made for almost nothing. I mean,
yep.
And also very little blood.
Yeah, almost none.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the original Halloween's not a gore fest. That kind of vibe came later with Halloween too.
Well, that came from what popularized it was Friday the 13th, which they specifically and explicitly set out to make a trashier Halloween, basically.
And that movie did have Tom Savini on the practical effects. So
damn right it did.
Fucking awesome.
Sorry about your neck, Kevin Bacon.
That was a good looking gore scene. Shit.
Yeah, so I do wonder if horror is going to be the next sort of oversaturated market. In that
I think even if it is, I don't know that horror, like, it's not like it's going to go away or anything. It just, and the same thing with superhero movies. People are talking about Marvel fatigue, superhero movies are done or whatever. And it's like maybe they're done being the box office certainty that they were to a degree. You know what I mean? But that's fine. I'm okay with that. I don't think that they're going to go away forever. I think that just if they become just another type of movie that's kind of made on a semi-frequent, regular basis, I'm fine with that.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm not like superhero movies are still some of the best performing movies in the box office. Just they are. The fact is, focusing on superhero movies is dishonest because the box office is in a slump.
Yep. Well,
I saw somebody movies that still overperform, but like not a lot. No.
It might have been in the Mahler subreddit. I saw somebody posting that about how none of the superhero movies that have come out this year have been in the top 5. And I was like, really? And I looked at that and I was like, that's not even true. For one thing, Superman's the second, number 2. But
if you look at domestic, international is a bit different. But international number 1 is a movie I'd never even heard of before. I don't remember.
But like other than that, okay, so yeah, the top 5, sure, but they're all in the top 10. You know what I mean? So like you just have to go a little bit further. So it's really about framing is part of it too. It's like, yeah, so what if they're not, every one of them's not making $1 billion? So that's a standard that nobody ever expected to have. In fact, I have something here. Fuck, I'm glad I remembered this. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, that Mizar 2, that's a Chinese film specifically for the Chinese market. And it's apparently Chinese people are not going to the cinema as much. So this is a rarity. And then the next one is Lilo and Stitch, which is exactly the type of film that they hate. Disney, remake of an animated film. It's made a billion.
Hey, it's the type of movie I hate in general too, although for different reasons.
So yeah, let me know when you're done with this because I got something pretty awesome.
Oh, go ahead. I just wanted to.
Boom. James Gunn responds to question on whether Superman needs to make $650 million to break even. Anyone saying that doesn't have an understanding of the film business, and we would be idiots to make a first in a franchise film that would need to make that much to be profitable.
Also, a franchise has been terribly tarnished. Like, bad word of mouth has kind of wrecked Disney. The past few movies have underperformed massively. Yeah, you do not make a new DC entry hoping for a huge amount. You know?
Yeah. I'm just glad that he's saying that. Of course, you know, anybody that's on that narrative is just going to say that he's just saying that anyway to cope or whatever. But like, okay, so what are they going to say whenever the Superman sequel comes out? What's their explanation for that? You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, I mean, this is something that Eric covered in his Jezebel video, which was again somebody just spouting off the top of their dome what they think history is of film, and like going back to Batman Begins, and Batman Begins was a relative flop. It made certainly
it didn't flop. It just kind of was like, meh, it's kind of, yeah.
It's what they would refer to.
They don't like to bring up those numbers, though. Yeah.
Considering it was, hey, let's try this soft launch, this Batman thing again after we just did that fucking Catwoman garbage, and after Batman and Robin, like the fact that Batman Begins did as well as it did is basically the situation Superman was in almost.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're trying
Batman
to rebuild their
was
brand.
like 8 years before, and that was the last time Batman had been on screen. And then the next
widely
film,
believed to have killed the superhero genre back then, by the way.
Yeah, certainly killed DC.
Nobody wanted to touch fucking, you know, that's why like Blade, you go back and look at the marketing for the first Blade movie, it didn't have Marvel anywhere. You didn't see Marvel listed on the movie because they were trying to like not fucking put that front and center.
And then, the year before Batman Begins came out, Catwoman came out, which I think, does everybody still consider that the worst superhero film ever made? Bar none?
I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's definitely in the bottom.
I mean, I've never seen it, so I've seen scenes from it, and I've just never watched the whole thing. That like the
if you've seen scenes from it, you've seen it.
I've got different.
It's all like that.
I've got different worse ones. So like, there's that kind which I just haven't even bothered to see. Then there's kinds that like I really hoped to be good and but ended up being so bad that they pissed me the fuck off, like Wolverine Origin. And then there's stuff like Fanfare, which I didn't even finish because it was so fucking bad and boring that I was like, fuck this, and quit like 45-50 minutes into it. You know, so there's different
good cast in that one. That's about what I'll give it.
Shaq Steel movie. That might be.
That was bad. That is really bad.
As I said,
Captain America from 1991
you can watch that one
really
and laugh at it a little bit.
I will defend that the Shaq Steel movie just for the line from Richard Roundtree where he says, "Well, dip me in shit and roll me in breadcrumbs." That saves that film. That line saves that film.
I will say Judd Nelson is having fun in that movie as well.
God, I forgot he was even in that. Okay.
He's the villain.
I just remember Shaq in that goofy ass fucking costume.
Oh, it looks so bad.
But yeah, I would say that's better than the Catwoman film, which I think is.
Yeah, I think I actually agree with that. I think Steel is probably better than the Catwoman movie.
Yeah, at least
you
has
can
some.
see what. Yeah, at least it's watchable. I think.
And Halle Berry is way more talented.
Catwoman is like it's full of, from what I can tell, based on what I know about it. Catwoman is just unforced error after unforced error. Like, why did you change this? Why did you make this this way? Why, you know, it's
well, it's also how they shoot it. Like the direction of that movie is fucking atrocious. It is tough to watch in lots of scenes.
Yeah, it's edited. I've never seen anything like it before or since. Like give me any experimental film. Yeah. Give me any art project, and I think, it's hard to describe how unfathomably bad it is. And
I would definitely argue Steel is better directed than Catwoman.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, there were a lot of weird things in that Jezebel video that seemed to
1,000 amazing exceptions.
Yeah, to overlook the whole fucking I think we said that'd be a good thing to cover maybe next week or something. Just maybe we can do some planning on it, Ryan, and have some resources back it up, because I feel like just a timeline of film releases would go a long way to like, oh, she's full of shit. She's completely full of shit.
Eric does a very good job of reacting to it and pointing out that at the start she calls it a comprehensive look at superhero film in an 18-minute long video where she goes on about how Batman Begins and The Dark Knight really set the standard for superhero films in a way that is completely spoiled now, forgetting that some of the worst comic book movies that have come out this century came out in the same years as those films. I mean, it's crazy.
Right. I mean, you had if anything, like the good superhero films didn't come out really. Or okay, so it's actually, when you think about it, there's just been good and bad, good and bad, good and bad. It just happened for ever since.
Yeah.
For Superman, then you have bad Superman sequels, terrible Superman sequels. Then you have Supergirl. Then you have Batman '89, which is great, and Batman Returns, which what it is, what it is. I don't think it's a great Batman
good,
film,
but not atrocious.
It is entertaining.
No. Yeah.
And then you go from there to once again in the same franchise, just some of the worst shit ever, cape shit ever made. And then Blade, and then Catwoman, and then Batman Begins, and Dark Knight. And you get like the fucking pinnacle,
and Blade
and
3.
Iron Man. Right, Iron Man, right, in the same year, like the same month, maybe, I think, is Dark Knight.
It was about a month after, because I started working at a cinema in between the two releases. But not forgetting that that's the same year that some terrible comic book movies came out.
Yes.
Budget, in terms of box office, that's the year that Punisher Warzone came out, and that made like $6.
It was bad. And then like the year before that was Ghost Rider, which is like a video game plot, was basically how that played out.
It was better than the second Ghost Rider.
I disagree. I think that if you take the style of the second one and kind of put some of the plot structure of the first one and smash them together, I think the same thing about the Punisher movies. Take that Thomas Jane movie, which is really just more like, you should call him a prankster. He does some pranks on some crooks, basically. Take Thomas Jane, and then like the filmmaking ability that was in that movie, and then just the raw violence of Punisher Warzone, smash them together, you got a good Punisher movie. Anyway,
but
between those two films, there's one good Punisher film.
Yeah, right.
For perspective, Batman Begins, which came out in 2005 and is widely regarded as a big superhero movie, and well regarded, $375 million at the box office, which is good.
It is my
if
favorite
you're
one of the
looking at
trilogy.
it with context, it is good. But like, I'm sure in modern day, if this movie were to come out today, they'd be screaming how it's a bomb. Absolutely.
Well, I don't even think the first Iron Man film did that well at the box office, did it?
I think it did it get like 600?
It did really well, but like, it was more the context of like, holy shit, Marvel made a movie that was very good and everybody was talking about it. Like,
in context, and not forgetting that same year, Incredible Hulk came out.
Well, within a month after that one.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iron Man was not a household name before this movie came out. He was kind of known, but like, he was kind of a B-lister. And now he's definitely an A-lister.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell me that you don't like that fucking piss and fire scene. Come on now. That's just awesome.
Sure.
Come on.
So yeah, that the budget for that was 140 million, and it made 585 million. And by modern standards, the Chuds would call that a flop.
Absolutely. I mean, they called Doctor Strange 2 a flop of almost $1 billion. So
Jesus. Yeah. In hindsight, I do think that Batman Begins is the overall best one.
It's definitely the one that aged the best. Yeah, I would probably agree. Probably
just because, even though, which is weird, because for the longest time I would have said The Dark Knight was my favorite movie.
Oh,
for
easily.
And then just
I think
the more
in
and more
context.
time goes on, I'm just like, that's a lot of that Nolan-esque trickery with how he makes you think what you're seeing is. I mean, it is amazing the first time you're seeing it, but then the more you think about it later on, the more it starts to fall apart, which it happens more and more with his movies as time goes on.
What I will say about Christopher Nolan, though, is that like, he is actually trying to push himself as an artist.
Yeah.
Unlike certain people named Snyder, but he's actually trying to get better at his art, even though he's already well regarded. Get better, and that's commendable.
If you wanted to spin a narrative around the Dark Knight, you could say that all right, it made $1 billion worldwide, but in overseas territories, certain overseas territories, like in the UK, it was beaten by Mamma Mia at the box office. So you can take a narrative any way you want. If you want to paint a picture by ignoring the greater context, which is, I think, something that they all do now. I mean, looking at Superman it's nearly at 600 now, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
So it's nearly at 600 million and cost about 212, 215. So not two different numbers from Iron Man. Better performing, probably, you would say, than the Batman Begins. And again, it's the start of the franchise in the same way that Iron Man, Batman Begins were. So those are the films you need to be comparing it against.
So once it leaves the box office, it'll almost certainly have more than the original Iron Man did, which launched the MCU. So,
and in a time where streaming wasn't a thing as well, pre-pandemic, way pre-pandemic, when box office and more people go and see films.
Well, no, that's the wild thing. I think it's questionable they did this. I think they must have already made their money plus some, but I guess they've already announced the streaming date for Superman is going to be the end of the month. Which is like, Jesus Christ. I haven't even gone Thunderbolts yet. I haven't even gone.
I think it's actually getting a physical release as well at the same time as streaming as well.
Yeah, probably something like that. But yeah, it's coming out fairly soon, which
is crazy when you think
yeah.
the competition at the box office is that and the Fantastic Four, and there's nothing else over the summer. And
I suspect the only reason they're announcing it so soon is because they've already well made their money on it, and they're just like, yeah, it's clean up.
Because when the kids go back to school in the US,
they just started. My son started yesterday. On
my
birthday.
In the UK, they don't go back until September. So because that's always, I always found it weird that
they've always been moving it up over the years. Yeah, it used to be after Labor Day school started, but I remember when I was younger, it was late August when school started. And now it's pretty much early August. And everybody forgot the Crow movie from 2024.
Well, the original Crow wasn't a big hit, was it?
No, I don't think so. That spawned 50 billion sequels that were terrible.
But it was entirely a cult hit. Nobody watched that till it came out on video, I don't think. So many of these films that get sort of, people forget about what actually happened at the time. It's crazy.
Not even 100 million, just barely 50 million.
Yeah, I mean,
internationally it made 150,000, which is crazy. But then that's going back to a time when the American box office was the box office.
Yeah.
I'm doing some quick research right now, but I'm going to have to do some deeper diving because Geeks and Gamers has an article on the first page of Google whenever you look up the 2.5, 2.5 times rule. So they're literally, part of obviously the problem. But yeah, it's referred to as a rule of thumb. It's also general. It's also about movies that definitely doesn't apply to like mid or small budget movies. You know what I mean? It starts to break down. I don't think that.
Well, it never applies to big budget movies either, because they always used to say that one of the things they said was that the marketing budget was always the same as the box office, as the production budget, and that was the case for smaller films, but not for bigger films, because there's no way that like Endgame, what did it cost? Like 400 or 500 million?
Right.
They didn't spend 500 million on marketing.
Right. I mean, that's so obvious that like a thing like Marvel, it's a franchise. They're not looking at this as one movie per one, like at a time. They're not doing that. They know that a movie like Thunderbolts isn't going to make $1 billion. They know it might not even make like 800 million or something like that. You know what I mean? But they consider that, well, this is all set up for the thing where we're gonna definitely rake in a shitload of cash down the road, right?
True.
And you know, it's so stupid and short-sighted to think it's just one movie at a time with that kind of thing. Not to mention the merchandising, the fucking you know, like there's a lot of Marvel merchandise in case you haven't noticed. Who knows how they factor in, you know, whether or not Disney Plus, you know, I don't know how they would, but like they have to have some, you know, equation there where it's like so many Disney Plus. Maybe it's if a movie's released, a Marvel movie's released on a certain week or something, and a bunch of people sign up for Disney Plus. Maybe they assume that's who knows. Yeah,
well, yeah. But marketing is everywhere now. Like merchandise is everywhere now. Because when I was a kid, starting to collect comics, you couldn't buy superhero T-shirts everywhere.
Right.
You could go to Forbidden Planet or a comic shop or like an independent.
Oh, you got Forbidden Planet? Crazy.
Yeah, it's a British company, I think.
Oh, wow. We got one here in Portland.
I think it started in Scotland, if my history's correct. But yeah. So yeah, if you wanted comic merchandise, comic book character merchandise, you could only get it from specialist shops. And now it's in supermarkets. It used to be just the kids' sizes were in supermarkets. Now it's everywhere.
Okay, so I'm finding something. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this is an older article, but I found something here that relates to when a studio takes a write down on a picture. The costs are usually estimated over what the movie will pull in from ancillary markets over a 10-year period. So this has to do with like the video market kind of collapsing and stuff like that a few years ago. So that's in the context of that. But I mean, that has to still be, there's some version of that still at play now, right?
Yeah, and it's hard to know what the ancillary market is now because we don't physically see it in the shops anymore. But yeah, they really were sort of, and I think what it means by that as well is not the physical DVD sales, because as far as I can remember, studios really didn't care about home movie sales unless it was massive. There were a couple of films that I think managed to get sequels because the home video sales were so big, but generally it was the rights. So you wouldn't sell, Disney wasn't selling like Disney DVDs or Disney videos. They sold the rights in other markets to produce those DVDs, and that's where the big chunk would come because they want to get paid all at once. So yeah, it's such a hugely different market now, and they're trying to sort of gather everything together so that they are the ancillary market. So they're not selling the rights anymore; they're selling Disney Plus.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna do some research. I'm because I'm so
Yeah.
sick of seeing that. I saw somebody in Eric Debunk's server that's, you know, not even Chud just saying something like that, and it's just like, come on, man.
Yeah, I saw a little bit like that as well. and I was
Don't
like,
just take it for granted, please. Like that's definitely something that Chuds have populated as being something to look for, and you know, yeah, it's frustrating.
No,
Dude, unless you are like Bob Iger or Kevin Feige or someone like that, you shouldn't really care that much about box office numbers. It's interesting to talk about, but like the quality of the movie should be your number one standard. Did you think it was a solid movie? That's it.
Right. No, I mean, but that's the thing. It's become this, you know, not just there's the cultural war aspect of it, which has been weaponized, obviously, but there's just the, you know, the fucking, it's like social capital. The Snyder cult being one of the most extreme examples of just like, oh, my thing is, you know, I'm all about my identity, and yeah, I'm better than you because the thing I like, and you suck and are stupid because you like this thing. It's EFAP. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just becomes a way to, you know, push yourself above somebody else for some perceived fucking, you know, artistic thing. You know, there's no accounting for taste. God damn it. All right, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah,
it's been fun.
I need to go make dinner and get ready for stream tomorrow, which I will be live tomorrow, talk about comic books and talking to somebody about my EFAP video, which should be interesting. So make sure to check that out.
Sean, that is a good question. I will have Ryan answer that on a future stream, or unless you can just say no.
I can simply answer it now. We didn't, but all of our comics were either imported. We didn't have a lot of home market, so there was no comic code, which is why you got 2000 AD, things like that. And for anybody that knows Viz Comics, which was an adult-orientated magazine and comic with such characters as Sid the Sexist.
One of the first Marvel comics I ever read was a Marvel UK title, Death's Head 2.
Oh.
Well, they did some really interesting stuff. Not to get too deep into it, because they did some really interesting stuff. That's where Alan Moore got his start, and also an early editor for Marvel UK was Neil Tennant.
Oh,
Neil Tennant of the Pet Shop Boys.
Yes.
Oh no, fuck.
And, he quit to pursue his music career.
Too bad he can't go anywhere.
Hopefully it works out for him. Same with that. Was it George Carling or something like that? That comedian guy. I don't know. Maybe we'll see him.
Yeah, I hope he gets out there at some point.
Good times. Here's this again because it's funny as hell. Well,
that was.
I think if
hilarious.
Hitler were alive today, he'd probably appear on Theo Vaughn's podcast. And Theo would be like, "See, y'all did a lot of meth, right? I mean, all the Nazis were all fucked up on meth, right, Hitler? That shit'll make you crazy, dog. I did some meth once. I was up for 3 days, and then I ate a live bird. No shit, Hitler, a live bird, bro. Hey, Hitler, you probably didn't even hate the Jews. That was just the meth making you crazy, dog. Hey, Hitler.
Hey, Hitler.
Do you want to apologize to all the Jews right now on my show? No? I get it.
All right, watch Bob's stream tomorrow. Watch my stream on Friday. Watch Ryan's videos anytime on Nothing But Media. All these linked below, as well as other fine creators. And if you don't like us, if you just don't like our content, you think, you guys are a bunch of cucks or whatever, sorry about your pedo president, first of all. And also, go enjoy the shit you like.
Enjoy the negative grip, guys. I'm out.
Bye.
Woo! Bad faith criticism.
Are you a talentless YouTuber pretending to be an expert?
Do you have a tantrum when you're criticized for being totally full of shit?
Then the excuse you need is bad faith criticism.